All right, so are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Tonight, the 25-26 WSL season gets underway and it starts with the champions taking on the challengers. It's Chelsea versus Manchester City for the 5th time in 2025 and it's sure to be a very interesting occasion. In last season, they met 5 times in all competitions. Chelsea won 4 of them. City did, though, the only domestic side to beat Bompastor so far in her reign as Chelsea manager. So this won't be an easy game, Harry, for the Blues. Should be a tasty way to kick off the season.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a brilliant summer at the Euros. It's been a brilliant summer transfer window as well that came to a close yesterday. But what a way to get back in domestic action in England. The champions versus the challengers, really, is going to be a very, very good game. You've got a complete unknown in Manchester City under Andree Jeglertz, who will be looking to spring a surprise tonight against Sonia Bompastor's Chelsea, who are still yet to lose a game in the league under Bompastor. And everyone expects it's going to be another season where Chelsea are the favourites to go and take the title once again. But it's going to be a brilliant game. When it is a 22-game season, Match Week 1 matters so much more because those games come thick and fast. And if you fall behind early, as we've seen in the last few years, you then end up out of the title race completely. So it's very important for Man City, especially tonight, to not fall behind Chelsea, to not allow the reigning champions to get 3 points on them already. But that is going to take some doing because Chelsea are a very, very good side. And no matter what the score is tonight, we're going to be in for a good game. We've got 2 of the best tacticians in the women's game, 2 of the best sides in the WSL. We are bound to be delivered some incredible action to open up the start of the season.
Yeah, it's a real baptism of fire for Andree Jeglertz. You know, most managers want to come in and have a fairly nice run to start the season and then perhaps test yourself against the big sides. But it's going to be interesting. So on the flip side, I think it's very difficult for Chelsea to know exactly what Jeglertz and City are going to look like this evening. So I definitely think that could have an impact looking at today's game. And I think it's going to be a really interesting tactical battle for both teams. I think there's a little bit of question looking at both lineups as to what the teams are actually going to look like. So I'm very intrigued on that front. Welcome to the stream, though, to a lot of people. 170 Gunner, Nigel Thompson, Ryzen, all welcome to the stream. And a few new faces. Paul Ndungu saying, watching from Kenya. Welcome from Kenya. Mayron watching from Uganda as well. We've got people all across the world then tuning in for this WSL opener. Lucky asks, who do you think plays right wing for Chelsea? Well, I think on that, we should probably get into today's lineups, Harry. Are you surprised, firstly, by the selection on either side?
I think I'm a little bit surprised by both sides. As you say, it's always difficult to predict what that first starting 11 is going to be going into a new season, but based on what we expected to see from both Chelsea and Man City, I think there are a few things in there that do surprise me a little bit, especially in the Chelsea camp. It does seem to be a bit of a strange 11, but a good 11 nonetheless. But yeah, I was surprised that, yes, it's difficult to predict who's going to start Match Week 1, but I wasn't expecting both of these 11s to be as they are lining up tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to interrupt the lineups because FL Bailey's either incredibly generous, has mistyped, or has gone completely mental. Thank you so much for the $100 donation. Was not expecting that, Bailey. But thank you very much. What a way to start the stream. What a way to start the season. Thank you, FPL Bailey. Brilliant. Yeah,
that's a really bad point, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, really awkward now if he goes, no, I meant $10. But thank you very much, FPL Bailey. Appreciate that massively. Let's get into the lineups then for tonight's game. Of course, is at Stamford Bridge. So we'll start with the hosts, Chelsea. Looks like a 4-2-3-1 for the Blues in goal. Hannah Hampton, a back 4 of Carpenter, Bright, Bjorn and Neve Charles. In the pivot, it's Kira Walsh alongside Erin Cuthbert. On one side, Sandy Baltimore. On the other side, Micah Hermano. In the 10, it's going to be Vika Captain. And leading the line, Aggie Beaver-Jones. So an interesting team for Chelsea. A lot of players we didn't really expect to see. A bit of confusion as to what formation is going to be. A bit of confusion as to where Captain and Hermano may play. But interesting to see this 11.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I think especially when you compare it to the side that played against AC Milan last weekend in the last pre-season friendly. Now, Chelsea didn't name any senior players on the bench. Chelsea put out a senior 11 and then just youngsters. And it appeared to be that whoever didn't start against AC Milan was in line to start against Man City tonight. But that is not the case. The 11 that played against AC Milan that last friendly seemed to almost be the same 11 that is starting this evening. So It's an interesting one, to be completely honest. Pushing Baltimore further on, putting Hermano out wide, putting Capdean into the 10. Do I think they're the right decisions? It's not what I'd have gone for, but am I one to question what Sonia Bompastor's doing? It's a difficult one because I don't sit there and go, it's the wrong decision, but is it the strongest? Is it the right decision? I'm also not too sure. It's one of those where we're just going to have to see how on earth it plays out.
The question for me comes around, if whatever formation this is, why are they using those certain players in those roles? If it is to be a 4-2-3-1, why not use someone like Carnegie at right wing?
Yeah.
If it is to be something with two strikers up front, which has been theorised, then why not use Kat Macario? So I think there's a little bit of confusion there. Why those two profiles of Hermano and Captain, who are quite similar, then I'd be very intrigued to see why they're both playing. So could be something very interesting tonight. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that regard. More interestingly amongst substitutes, and as being mentioned in the live chat, what is happening with Naomi Gurman? Not in the matchday squad at all. No mention of fitness problems coming into this game. Is that a concern for you?
I think it has to be. As you say, Gurman played 90 minutes last weekend against AC Milan, had no problems at all, looked very comfortable, and felt like this was going to be the beginning of something big for Gurman and Chelsea, but not in the squad. Has to be an injury. There's no way it's by choice, which is slightly worrying for Chelsea. And while you talk about the return of some players coming back and Chelsea starting to get that squad back up to full fitness, losing Gurman is a big player to lose, and hopefully for Chelsea's sake, it's not going to be a long-term injury, but it's a big game to not have Naomi Gurman. You are talking an £1 million centre-half. To not have her for one of your biggest games of the season is a big blow to Chelsea. Obviously, Bright and Bjorn are very, very capable and are very, very good, but Gurman is probably Chelsea's best centre-half. Once she gets, also we didn't see that too much last season, but she was injured and she did have to take time to get up to speed. But that's a big blow for Chelsea. I mentioned there her previous injury troubles as well. That will be the bigger concern. Is it something a little bit more severe? That would be a big shame for Chelsea. But either way, even purely looking at it from tonight's point of view, that is a big blow. And Andree Jeglertz will be not happy, obviously, but will be for him. It's a positive to see Naomi Gurman for Chelsea tonight.
Well, yeah, the only centre back option Chelsea have off the bench is Fiona Berman, who's never played for them before, so that could be very interesting. In much more positive news, so Sam Kerr returning amongst the substitutes, brilliant to see her back.
Yeah, 100%. What a player Sam Kerr is, and if she gets back to full fitness, she is one of the best players in the world. So great to see Kerr back on the bench. Very smart from Bompastor to manage her minutes and just ease her in gently. If she is going to play a part tonight, I'd expect to be a very, very small part. I think there will be a part of Kerr and Bompastor that wants to get her back on the pitch, even if it's for 2 minutes, to get that standing ovation at Stamford Bridge will be a big moment for her. But you've got to be careful. It's been 20 months since Sam Kerr last stood on a football pitch in a Chelsea shirt in a competitive match. So it will be a big moment if Sam Kerr gets on tonight. It's been a very, very long awaited return, but great to see her back named amongst the Chelsea roster.
Yeah, fair enough. FPL Bailey with another $10. Thank you so much, Bailey, saying if I meant 10, I would have sent 10. Thank you, FPL Bailey. Incredible support. Thank you so much, Bailey. Let's get into the Manchester City side then. Now, for City, it's a little more difficult to piece together because, well, we don't really know what Jeglertz is going to do. There's a few interesting selections in terms of personnel, so we'll read out who's playing. We'll try and piece together how it will line up. In goal, it's going to be Yamashita. It looks like it could be a back four tonight of Cass Bright, Pryor, Jade Rose and Alex Screamer playing in a left-back role that she has done at the Euros, isn't too familiar with at Man City. In the pivot, it's Hasegawa and Lohman. Then the three of Hemp, Miedemar and Lily Murphy. And leading the line, it's Khadija Shaw. So the other thing it could be is that Hemp is playing at wing-back, and this is more of a 3-4-3, which is also something that we've seen Jeglertz use. So there are options this evening for Manchester City. What do you think is the most likely for City and Jeglertz?
I think looking at the other attacking options, there is a lack of attacking wide players. So I think we will see. I think it'll be the 4-back that becomes the 3-back with Greenwood playing left back, and it'll be what we saw Wiegman do for England and shift Greenwood across and create that back three and push Kasper on down the right hand side. But overall, it's exactly what we expected from Jeglertz and City. It's a lineup that keeps us guessing and keeps us still wondering how are they going to line up. We've got a decent idea, but until that whistle goes in minute 1, we're not really be able to put it together. But it's a good side. I think it's a really good mixture of senior players that have been at the club for a couple of seasons, mixed with players that have just joined the club. But also, I think Lily Murphy starting from the off speaks volumes about how Jeglertz likes to involve youth players. We know he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant at bringing players through and helping them develop into world beaters. And that looks to be what he wants to do with Murphy, because he sees a very, very good player and is going to give her the opportunity. And while you've got the likes of Fowler out injured, it presents a great opportunity to give Lily Murphy a start tonight in such a big game. I really like that faith and that belief from Jeglertz in Murphy to go out and deliver. But overall, it's still a very, very good side. We're very interested to see how the system is going to work. But last year when Man City came to Stamford Bridge, they didn't have Hemp, they didn't have Shaw. They've got both of them tonight. That is absolutely pivotal. Khadija Shaw is back leading the line for Manchester City this evening, so that is absolutely key. But overall, two brilliant 11s who are both going to look very, tactically, it's going to be a brilliant battle between two very, very good managers. It's bound to be a good game. But yeah, City lining up well. I like the team. I think it's a good personnel selection. Very intrigued to see how it's going to play tactically.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how City look. We saw Jeglertz speaking before kickoff about how actually this isn't going to be a clean slate, but just an evolution of what City have been doing in the past. He spoke quite highly, I think, of Taylor and the foundations that were in place at City already, and how he's going to come in. And while he will have his own principles and his own style, it's just going to be evolving on what's already there. I think that was always recognised coming into this season for Manchester City. One of the strongest sides in the division. Bring in new manager, a bit of fresh energy and fresh ideas could potentially be the thing that just tips them over to win that WSL title. So they're definitely going to be a really tough opponent for Chelsea, especially tonight when it's really difficult to know exactly how they're going to look.
Yeah, I think it's important, as you say, that wording, that the fact that Jeglertz is very much aware that it isn't a clean slate says that he is expecting to be very, very good from the off. Usually, when a new manager comes in, they say, it's going to be a clean slate, they're going to start fresh, and they're going to, it's going to take time to get going. But the fact that Jeglertz, knows it's not a clean slate, just an evolution, and wants to get going from the off, I think that is very, very positive. And Jeglertz is expecting to be competitive and to be, winning games from the off, really.
Yeah, Riley asks, how worried would you be if Chelsea were to lose tonight? Very negative thinking from the off, Riley, but that is not a surprise. I think it would very much depend on the performance. Context is so important in that situation. If Chelsea are to lose tonight, but it was a really competitive game of football, but City were, either the better side or just got the rub of the green in that situation, then I wouldn't be too concerned. But it depends on the manner of how it goes. I don't think Chelsea will lose tonight, but we'll get into predictions closer to kickoff. I think it's going to be a very tight game, though, a really difficult game. I think Jeglertz and City will be keen to be defensively solid early on and then look to build into the game from there. I think Chelsea and Bompastor will be keen to not allow anything silly, so I think they'll be fairly conservative to start, but I think they'd also like to stamp their authority in this game if they can. I think if they can register an early goal and really knock the confidence out of City early, because it's a very young side, a lot of young players, especially that back three. And I know Jeglertz is very good at bringing young players through and nurturing talent, and that's why he's a great fit for Manchester City with all the young players they've got. But I do think, looking at that back line tonight, it's very young, very inexperienced. If we're expecting Greenwood at left back, it's a centre-back partnership of Rose, who's never played in the WSL before, and Grace Pryor. So, yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see how those two match up, especially where against the pace of Aguilera Jones, but potentially later on against the physicality and experience of Sam Kerr.
Exactly that. In a game as close as this, experience could just make the difference. It could be enough to see Chelsea through, but that doesn't mean Man City can't win the game. I think that it's important to stress, as yes, while this game would still be a big blow to whoever loses this match, it definitely isn't the knockout blow. It is only match week 1, and there are still 21 games to be played. There are a lot of points up for grabs after tonight, but it will be important for whoever wins it.
It'll be a statement from the off, really. That's the
Exactly
most
that.
important thing.
And I think especially if City were to win it, that would mean more, because not only would it mean that you've beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, but also the fact that it would be Chelsea's first loss in the WSL under Bompastor. So I think it's one of those where if City win it, it means more, but overall, it doesn't put either side out the title race. It means both sides are still in a very, very good position, and it, if it's a draw, then Arsenal, Man United win. That's what happens. But that's the thing. No matter what the result is,
Arsenal, Man United lose to London City and Leicester City, respectively.
and then London City are going to win the WSL. But I think that yes, it's an important game, but both sides will know that this is a long season, and tonight is obviously about result, but it's also about performance. Because if City turn up tonight and get played off the park by Chelsea, that is worrying. But if they turn up and Chelsea nick this by a 1-0, then that is, yes, it's a loss, but it's still promising for Chelsea, for City. Same goes the other way around. If it's a really close game that City just about get the advantage, then fair enough. But if City turn up and play Chelsea off the park, then that's worrying. So result is obviously crucial, but performance as well, especially for Jeglertz as a new manager coming in. Performance is a big one, that both sides will be hoping that no matter the result, they still play well and make sure they are in the game. And I think it will be. I think it's going to go down to very, very fine margins.
Yeah, all right, let's get some thoughts from the live chat then. If you've got some thoughts heading into this game, thoughts on the lineup, let us know. We've got one coming in from Jay, who says, Pride did so well last season when she in the key matches towards the end of last season. I'm excited to see her getting a start. She's got a lot of potential. Definitely, and I think that's one thing we're going to see from Jeglertz this season at Manchester City. It's a real focus on developing those young players. We've seen it throughout his career. And with the sheer number of young talents the City have got at their disposal, I think there will be I think he'll have a desire to create a pipeline for those young players straight to the first team. I think we'll see them utilised very effectively. So I think that's an overwhelming positive.
Yeah, 100%. I think that it's obviously it's a little bit different because they've had a season, they've had first team experience now, but as you say, I think Jeglertz will...
But to back someone like Jade Rose, who's never played in the WSL, to come in and play against Chelsea on the opening night of the season, that takes guts from a manager, but also belief and confidence in their players. And that will instill more confidence, you think, in those players.
And that's the big difference, is that last season, even when the likes of when Murphy and Pryor and, Cody Thomas played a game as well, when they came in, it was through necessity. But tonight, with all his players, bar Fowler and a couple others at his disposal, Jeglertz has backed Gracie Pryor, he's backed Jade Rose, he's backed Lily Murphy to deliver in this big game. Because Kerolin could have easily started. Yes, Knack's out injured, but you could have worked that back line to bring in a Lazel or someone like that and put Greenwood back in and brought Uwe Harby in. So it's, Jeglertz did have the choice to not start the youngsters tonight. But as you say, he's backing them from the off to deliver in one of the biggest games of the season on the opening night. Rose on a WSL debut. That, yes, it will be nervy for those players, especially Rose, but also there'll be a bit of excitement and confidence because she's come in and gone, yeah, my manager believes that I'm good enough to start this game, so I'm going to go out and show him that he's right. So yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a gamble necessarily, because obviously they are still very, very good players, but I like the fact he's willing to take that little bit of a risk and believe in the young players to deliver against one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, definitely so. David saying, if Chelsea wins, such a huge psychological edge that they can repeat the feat of last year. Yeah, I think it gives them that confidence, as we've been speaking about it. That the win tonight, as much as obviously it chalks up 3 points on the board, there's so many to play for. There's so many big results and games that are going to matter later this season. So tonight is all about performance. Obviously, results are important in the context of the title race, but a win tonight, I think, means more psychologically and in terms of making a statement than it does in terms of how the tables going to end up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously both sides are going to go in this game knowing a win is really important, but I think from a analysis perspective, what we're going to get tonight is an understanding of where these sides sit in the pecking order, or at least a very early understanding of where they sit in the pecking order.
Yeah, especially for Man City, because the last thing they want to do after, sides will get bored of chasing Chelsea. The last thing City want to do tonight is already fall 3 points behind. Because yes, there's loads of points to play for, but out of all the teams to be chasing, you don't want to be chasing Chelsea once again. Like it happens every year. And that's why I said this across the previews, is that the biggest thing that the other clubs in the title fight can do is stay with Chelsea for as long as possible. Because the longer you stick, look what Man City did 2 years ago. They stuck with Chelsea all the way through to the end of the season, and Chelsea did start to slip up. It just happened to be that Man City also slipped up, so it didn't matter in the end. But the fact that they were there that forced errors from Chelsea. So it's vitally important, not just for City, but for Arsenal tomorrow and Man United on Sunday, that they don't fall behind Chelsea. Which, I mean, and that's why I think a draw is better for City tonight than it is for Chelsea. Because yes, it means they're both on 1 point, but the fact that City wouldn't fall behind Chelsea already, psychologically, just in that mentality is big. And honestly, for Arsenal and United, they'll be sat there thinking, happy days, we can get 2 points out of both of them if we win our games across this weekend.
Yeah, definitely so. 10 minutes till kickoff and a lot of excitement brewing in the live chat. Alyssa saying hello, WSL is back. Get in. Indeed, I've been buzzing all day. I've been very excited for this game. I think to start the season with such a big match, it's gonna be really interesting for that reason. I think the fact that you've got a blockbuster fixture on the opening night, it's gonna be a good watch.
Yeah, especially because when a lot of people will say that it's better when they meet further into the season when both sides are in full flow and they're both at the top of their game. And yes, that is exciting because if you had peak Chelsea versus peak Man City, that is going to be a brilliant game. That won't happen tonight, but what we've got tonight is a little bit unknown. When both sides meet and they're already 15 games into a season, you know how both sides are roughly going to set up, to bar any small tactical tweaks. Tonight, we are going into the unknown. We aren't quite sure what Man City are going to do. Chelsea, we know roughly what they're going to do, but it's still a new season. There could still be something different. So neither side really knows too much about the other, and it is going to be a very, very interesting game in terms of which manager and which team, can adapt on the fly, can make those tweaks mid-game that are going to win them this fixture, because that will make the difference. Again, tonight will be fine margins. Neither side is going to come out here and play the other off the park. It will be a very, very close football match, and that comes because there will be a little bit unknown. There will be a little bit of nerves. Both sides will probably start pretty conservative and then look to grow into the game, as we tick through the minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I think let's talk substitutes tonight, or the benches. Which team do you think will have more options turning to its bench? Chelsea, the likes of Wrighton, Macario, Sam Kerr, Connor Reid as well. Do you think it's a surprise that none of them start this evening, or is perhaps Chelsea looking for that impact from the bench?
The luxury for Chelsea is that no matter who you start, you're going to have good players to come off the bench. That's the kind of team they've got. So, yes, I am surprised that we aren't seeing Brighton or Carnereed in the 11, or Macario for that matter. But what it does mean is that they're on the bench and they're ready to come in and make the difference if they need to. Because they are those kind of players that no matter who you bench, they're going to come in and play very, very well. So I think Chelsea have got the better quality on the bench, but City will be aware of that and they will plan for that. They've obviously got quality of their own as well. So again, that's what I love about seeing two big sides meet, is that you unlike when you get a big side versus a smaller side, the big side usually becomes stronger and stronger as the game goes on. They bring on subs and they kill the game off. Between two big sides, it's the kind of game that will go on for 90 minutes because both sides have got game changers that can make the difference right up until the very end of the match. So two strong benches. I do think Chelsea's bench is stronger and they've got better impact players, but still, both sides have got some very, very good substitutes.
Yeah, and an attacking option that Chelsea may wish they have tonight, unveiled at Stamford Bridge, Alyssa Thompson. We spoke about that a lot yesterday during the deadline stream, but just how much of an impact could she have this season for the Blues?
Absolutely massive. She's a game changer, and that could be the difference. And a lot of people have questioned that, Chelsea, they've got to be careful because, yes, they were good last year, but if you stand still and you get comfortable at the top, you can get caught. But bringing in Alyssa Thompson is a game changer. And again, it's another signing that takes Chelsea up a level, another attacking option to add to that squad depth. But, it's a brilliant addition. It's an incredible player in Alyssa Thompson, and if Chelsea unlock her full potential, she will be one of the best in the world, and she will tear defences apart in blue up front with all the other brilliant attackers Chelsea have got. It will be it's a great signing no matter what. I don't see a way it goes wrong. I think she will have an impact from the off, and once she's able to play and is amongst the Chelsea squad, that is going to be a massive boost to the Chelsea side.
Yeah. Absolutely. We are 5 minutes away from kickoff for the new season. So on this show, that means one thing only. It is time for predictions. If you are watching along, get involved in the live chat. Let us know your scoreline prediction for this game. We'll start by taking a look at the poll in chat. 63% going for Chelsea, 28% backing Manchester City, just 9% saying this game will be a draw. Thanks to 300 people that have voted in that already. If you haven't already, get involved in the live chat and give us your score prediction. We'll be looking through those in a moment. Let's start here in the studio though, Harry, and with yourself. First prediction of the new season. What are you saying? Chelsea vs Manchester City, what is your prediction?
I have to say, first finish of the season, I'm gonna sit on the fence and be a little bit boring. I'm gonna say a draw tonight. I'm gonna go with the 9% of people in the chat. I just think it's two very, very good sides. I think it will start off a little bit conservatively. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I think that City will take the lead early through Khadija Shaw. It will look like they could pull something off, but I will say in the final 20 minutes, an Aggie Beaver-Jones goal to win it for Chelsea. To level it for Chelsea. And I think both sides will take a point from this match and set up a really, really good season. Because if these two draw tonight, then we're all going to sit here and go, well, you just can't separate them. So 1-1 draw for me. Both sides to get on the score sheet, but overall a very, very competitive match of football.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. I think this could be a very tight game. I think the big question for me is the defensive structure on both of these sides. I think City's will be slightly more open because they're unfamiliar with each other. I think there will be gaps in the system as a consequence of that. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeglertz had a bit of a difficult start to this season, a few games where it isn't really working, and then, similar to Antonio Conte in the men's game with the Chelsea men's side, switches to his 3-4-3, which he's really familiar with, and suddenly it clicks. I do just wonder if we could do something like that. But I think the questions around City's out of possession, the youthfulness in that back line for me could see them a little bit exposed. I still think Chelsea are vulnerable in transition. And I think looking at that Chelsea back line, I worry about where the pace is going to be up against the likes of Lauren Hemp, up against the strength and the power of Khadija Shaw. So, yeah, I think it's a really strong City front line. So I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Man City 1. Really close game. Really good tactical matchup. But I think Chelsea will just edge it. A lot of predictions coming through in the live chat then. Let me try and swipe and find them all. Riley going 2-0 Man City, of course. Ryerson saying 2-1 Jones with Sam Kerr to get a 100th goal as the winner. Stabby McStab going 3-2 Chelsea. David saying 2-1 Chelsea. Great teacher on Izuka going 3-0 Chelsea. 3-1 City for FPL Bailey and a Shaw brace. Jay going for a 1-1 draw. And yeah, that's all the predictions coming in from live chat. Keep them rolling in as we get into kickoff though. I think it's going to be a really interesting game of football. That's the most exciting thing. There's a bit of unknown about both sides coming into this match. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, exactly. I love that unknown. As you say, I think we're bound to get goals. Two incredibly good front lines up against two sides who may look a little bit shaky at the back to start this season. I can't wait to get in with it. The first 5 minutes are going to be very, very nervy, and it is going to take time to get going. But once these sides start to flow, we're going to be in for a brilliant football match. And all the build-up is for this night. And it starts to feel very, very real as we get close to kick-off. The last month of previewing and predictions is all done now, and we're ready to get right back into the action. It's going to be a brilliant weekend, and what a way to open the season with these two sides. It's going to be a good game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Andree Jeglertz can do in the WSL. Brilliant attendance at Stamford Bridge as well for what will be a brilliant game between two very, very good footballing teams.
Yeah, the other talking point we haven't discussed in goal for Man City tonight, Ayaka Yamashita. I think that was expected with Andree Jeglertz coming in, wanting to play out from the back. But does that give an indication then of which way he's gone, or is it simply preferring a different goalkeeper for a different occasion?
I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does choose to do. But I just think, in terms of Yamashita's on-the-ball ability, it's better than Kiara Keating. And again, I think you have to back a goalkeeper. We saw how last year rotating Keating and Yamashita just did not work. I think Jeglertz has to settle on a starting number one.
Not a lot of work last season, to be fair.
That is true, but I think I always believe you have to settle on a goalkeeper and back them to be consistent and deliver. And I hope that Jeglertz will get behind. I don't really mind which one he gets behind, but if he's starting Yamashita tonight, that for me says that he is going to back her from the off and he's going to stick with her as City's number one.
Yeah, that's what I expect. I think he'll want a goalkeeper who's great with distribution. Yamashita, I think, is better playing out from the back. And I think, he's looking for a goalkeeper to be able to play those short passes, retain possession. And so I think that Yamashita is better suited to what Jeglertz wants from a goalkeeper. I think, therefore, it makes sense that she starts from the off. But that will be a bit of a debate as we go through the season. I think the only thing you could have said for tonight is, would you go for Keating? Perhaps slightly better shot stopping in a game where they could be under the cosh in portions. Would you want a goalkeeper who's going to be more reliable making those saves? Potentially so. But that is a debate that Jeglertz, I'm sure, has been having himself, and he settled on Yamashita. So now we'll find out whether that was the right decision. Kickoff underway shortly here at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea who will get this game underway. Beaver Jones from the middle, leading the line for the Blues this evening. Knocks it back, and we're underway for the opening match of the 25-26 Women's Super League. It's Chelsea versus Manchester City. A huge title clash to start the campaign. And it's the Blues on the ball to get our started cuff, but caught in possession. And City trying to make something happen here in the final third. Looking at the pass there, searching for Lily Murphy, but it's over here and out for a Chelsea goal kick.
Good start for City, though. Very aggressive, getting on to the champions early. And Chelsea have just got to be careful. Expect that high intensity from City and make sure they don't lose the ball like that again with Erin Cuthbert in the middle.
Yeah, they're going to be a good pressing team this season. Manchester City, anyone familiar with Jeglertz's brand of football won't be surprised by that. And that ball going long then from Hannah Hampton, looking for Aggie Beaver Jones. I think that's one of the questions tonight. Is Beaver Jones physical enough to lead the line for Chelsea? You look at how they found success against City last season and the season before that, and Mara Ramirez was a huge catalyst, being able to shrug players like Alana Kennedy off like it was nobody's business. But that long ball there going to Beaver Jones, who is fairly helpless, competing physically and competing aerially. So that'll be a very interesting battle. Good challenge there from Sondi Baltimore. It does look like a back five from the off for Chelsea, or Baltimore is just incredibly deep. But it does look like...
Yeah, because Hamano's out on this left-hand side.
Yeah. Very interesting then. To start the season from Chelsea, they are going to go for five back, which is what we discussed and what we theorised coming into this season. In pre-season, we saw them switch back to the four back. But does that show perhaps looking for the three back, a little bit more defensively secure in games against the top teams?
Yeah, 100%. I think that, again, it gives Chelsea options, which is absolutely massive. And I think a little bit more solidity against these tougher oppositions isn't necessarily a bad thing for Bompastor.
Hasegawa and Greenwood over this. Then it's Hasegawa who delivers it into a good area. Flicked on in there by Sydney Lohman. But that will go out for a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I think Pryor was frustrated with that one because she almost ran in front of it and then couldn't get behind it. But the ball, it actually ended up turning into a free header. But as I said, just got in front of it and ended up heading it backwards. Just didn't read the flight of the ball particularly well.
Yeah, indeed. Carpenter sends it up the line. Header one by Alex Greenwood. Nodded down there. And Lohman on the ball. Gives it back to Hasegawa. Looking now for her options. So tidy in possession is Yui Hasegawa. Now Greenwood. Trying to slide a pass forward. Doesn't quite come off. And Chelsea a quick give and go. And they'll break through the lines. Hamano. That pass behind her. City could use this ball now. Miedema plays it in behind. Khadija Shaw bearing in on goal. Bright gets goal side. Strike from Shaw. Stopped by Hannah Hampton. Big save from Chelsea's goalkeeper. And they're still struggling to play out from the back here. Hamano under the cosh does well to hold on to the ball. And now they can look to play out with Neve Charles. Into Walsh, back to Charles. Positive touch up the line. Tries a searching pass forward. Great hold up from Beaver Jones, who can release. Sondi Baltimore now. Lovely footwork. Tries to find a pass through the lines to Vika Captain. Doesn't quite come off. And City regain possession.
What a fast start. It's exactly what we expected. A little bit frantic. But first of all, from City, really good football. Got the ball through to Khadija Shaw, who beat Millie Bright in the foot race. Bright did well to see her wide, but realistically, Shaw should have not been getting the shot off there, and it was a good save from Hampton to deny her and to keep these scores level. But already Khadija Shaw showing the threat that she poses, back leading the line for Manchester City. Again, Chelsea just tried to play it out, ended up losing it in the middle of the park. 2 passes and Khadija Shaw was through on goal. Bright did well to see her wide, but realistically shouldn't be letting that shot come in from there, and it was a good save from Hannah Hampton to keep us at 0-0. But Shaw again, so tidy and hits it so well. It's a really well struck effort from that wide of the goal. Hampton does well to get a hand to it.
Here is Alex Greenwood then looking to lift it in behind. Cut out well by Millie Bright. A flick on in there from the recovering Natalie Bjorn. And now City forced back, but they remain in possession. Rose. Now it's Hemp. Pass across into Sydney Lohman. Tidy footwork. Now finds a pass out wide to Kirsten Kasperai. Hemp. So interesting to see Lauren Hemp on the right wing then. Obviously, Lily Murphy more comfortable on the left-hand side. Hemp quite capable of playing on both sides, but prefers the left-hand side.
Yeah. I think that...
But I guess, Gut's wanting a more out-and-out winger on the right flank.
Yeah, potentially.
Walsh. Back to Bright. That's right to hold on to the ball. Now Charles. Forward pass into Hermano. Baltimore. Gives it back to Cuthbert. It does feel like when Chelsea are on the ball, they've got the shape they want to execute at the moment. They're dragging City out rather effectively. But the problem is they've got to get the passes right. At the moment, the passes are going astray and it's just too lethargic in possession. Here's Lohman, pokes it onto Viviana Miedemar. Could take aim from this sort of range. Miedemar loses possession, drops back for Lohman, looking to recycle. A pass through the lines into Miedemar. Good hold up. Lohman again. One back by Chelsea. It's Carpenter looking there for Kira Walsh. And that's cut out by a City player and out now for a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, City, very, very quick start. It's been a really lively start. And as you say, Chelsea, not necessarily doing anything wrong, but just a little bit sloppy to begin with tonight. Doing well to get on the ball and get people in the right areas, but not shifting it as quickly or as accurately as they would like. And I think Jeglertz will be happy with the intensity that his side have started with this evening.
Yeah, to everyone in chat asking about ESPN or complaining about ESPN, that I feel your pain if you are trying to watch it and they just cannot make it work. But hopefully, until that is up and running, we can make up for the fact you are unable to watch the game at the moment. Chelsea on the ball now, though. Cuthbert. They do well to maintain possession. Carpenter, now Bjorn. Walsh, back to Natalie Bjorn. Chelsea looking at 4 options through the lines. Now to Carpenter. Holding the width on the right-hand side. A pass inside to Beaver Giants. Just gets stuck in her feet. And it's back in City possession. Pryor. Rose. Back to Pryor. Interestingly, we've not really seen City use a situational back three so far. It's very much been a 4 in build-up and a 4 in possession. I think perhaps the lack of an out-and-out left winger stunting that tonight because there's no one to hold the width, so Greenwood is having to do that.
Potentially. But yeah, it's interesting that the make-up of the back 4 to then...
Lovely control from Vika Kaptein in there. Does want to hold on to the ball. Now Carpenter into a dangerous area with the cross. Kasperai, better safe than sorry, out now for a Chelsea corner.
Not a bad idea that from Carpenter. Should it have gone back into the channel to Kaptein potentially? But a really good move down the right for Chelsea. Caught Man City a little bit high. But I'd tell you what, it's not a bad ball in from Ellie Carpenter at all. And wins Chelsea a corner ball. And finally Chelsea's first foray forwards, really, in these opening stages.
Yeah, indeed. And we haven't seen Ayaka Yamashita tested yet. We have seen Hannah Hampton tested. Chelsea now looking to try and get a shot away. Cuthbert into a good area. Headed away. They're going to drop to Hermano on the edge. It's a bit of a skewed volley. Headed wide. Yamashita with a somewhat cartoonish punch there to keep that ball in play and prevent another corner.
Very interesting. He doesn't choose... Didn't pick it up at all there. Just kept the ball on the floor and kept it moving. Wanting to not stop the play and keep the intensity, keep that ball moving for Man City.
Great win back there from Hermano. Now Carpenter. Back to Hermano. Here's Cuthbert. Tidy work from the Scot in there. A strong tackle, but it's going to drop for Hermano. And that will be a Chelsea corner and another chance to keep the pressure on here for the Blues.
Again, tidy football now. Chelsea are just starting to get those passes together in those close quarter areas and winning themselves another corner. One of those where it took a touch of both, I think, there.
That's the idea of the system. Get technically gifted midfield players close together on the pitch. That's why we're seeing 2 attacking midfielders playing rather than natural wingers, with the idea that the fullbacks, the wing-backs, create the width. It's going to drop to the edge of the box here. The corner, Kira Walsh takes aim, and that skews off the head of Khadija Shaw, and out for another corner.
Tell you what, that is a crucial deflection in there from a City player, because Walsh, although it may have been straight down the throat, Yamashita definitely put this one on target.
Sorry, it's Viviana Miedemar, not Khadija Shaw. Both players jumped at the same ball.
Just skims off her back, but a vital intervention. Another Chelsea corner.
And a lot of movement in the box there for Chelsea players, hitting the deck left, right and centre. They try and go short. Hasn't quite worked. Could the routine come to something though? Hermano lifts it in towards the back post. Flicked off the head there of Shaw. That one definitely was City's number 9. And that's out for a Chelsea throw-in.
Chelsea doing really well just to keep this pressure on to Man City.
I think there was a bit of confusion there because it was initially given as...
Yeah, he slipped apologised there. She pointed the wrong way.
Hermano. Now Beaver Jones. Nice hold up from Chelsea's striker. Here's Charles. Bright. Bjorn goes wider still into Ellie Carpenter. Options ahead of her. Great control from Vika Captain. She's at Chelsea's targetest player so far. Really secure in possession. Just needs to make something tick now. Ball in behind, looking for Beaver Jones. Great hold up. Can bring another player into the game. Cuff, but wide into Carpenter. Can she find the delivery? Overhit that one by Ellie Carpenter. Baltimore will try and keep this move alive. Has Casper on her back. Does well now just to shape her up. Can she take her on, Baltimore? Lovely footwork. Looking to try and find a delivery. Good ball into a good area. Yamashita, though, does well. Brave goalkeeping. Comes out where the heads are flying and claims the ball.
Too easy that, though, in there from Casper to allow Baltimore to just sit on it and dance around it. Needed to be stronger in there.
Strong defending there from Charles on Shaw. Drops in there for Lauren Hemp. Looking for a pass out to the left-hand side. Executes it out now to Lily Murphy. Looking to make an instant impact, the youngster. Running at Carpenter. Looks to take her on. Ball into the box, but that's no bother for Hannah Hampton.
Does really well there. Carpenter just forces Murphy towards the byline. Doesn't let her come inside on that right foot. And yeah, does well to just see Murphy's half shot into the arms of Hampton. But as I said, we're over 10 minutes through here. Very end-to-end stuff. Both sides looking good coming forward and a little bit nervy in the defensive third.
Yeah, James Esakuma asking where is Gura Wright, and she is named amongst the substitutes tonight. But as we're seeing with Chelsea looking to use wing-backs in this game, she wasn't going to start in that front three. So, I think looking at the system, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, makes sense.
City in possession. Pryor. Under pressure now. Goes to Greenwood. And Captain will try and force her wide. He's going to put pressure here on this Man City left back now. Back to Pryor, getting penned in. Does well to just take that past Beaver Jones. And a ball up the line into Murphy. Lovely control. The pitch opening up for her now. Hemp. Caught in there well by Charles, who stepped up nicely. And then that's an ambitious ball towards Kasparai, which will end up in the possession of Sondy Baltimore.
Really good defending that from Niamh Charles. Pushed up, gambled, turned the ball over, forced it 10 yards backwards, and then just kept chasing after it. Really good stuff from Charles. And that's the luxury of having a back five, is that someone can go and do that.
Yeah. And a slight concern here then. And it's Yaka Yamashita who's down holding a knee. And this isn't a good way to start the season with an injury concern 12 minutes in for the Citizens.
No. It definitely isn't one of those let's stop the game and have a chat ones. It definitely looks to be an issue for Yamashita. Keating will be sent out to warm up. But yeah, that is not what Manchester City need. Needs your goalkeeper picking up a knee injury 13 minutes into the campaign. Haven't seen anything. There's been no contact or anything, any dodgy landings. So just just happened somewhere, clearly. Hopefully she's all right to continue. But I think that Jeglertz will be pretty happy with the start that he's seen. Obviously no goal yet, but they've been positive. They're taking the game to Chelsea. Has been very, very end-to-end. They've got to be careful. They don't get caught out when Chelsea are coming at them. But when City have got the ball, they've looked pretty good, to be fair. And I think both sides have looked good on the ball, and it's creating a very, very high-quality match so far tonight.
Yeah, Yamashita, I think here desperately trying to continue, and does appear to be getting back to her feet.
Yeah.
So good news for the City shot stopper.
That's what City want to see. Don't be bringing your goalkeeper off
12 minutes into the open.
Exactly that. And Keating returns to her seat.
Though it is one of the positions that I think City have the best rotation options in.
True.
With Keating and Yamashita, the difference between the two fairly negligible.
She doesn't look 100% comfortable. But that again, even if she is fine, that's something that Chelsea have got to play on. Try and get up the other end and get shots off. Try and catch Yamashita out. She is feeling something. Test her, make her work, and put pressure on her.
Yeah, indeed. Johanna saying no contact injuries tend to worry me more than those with contact. Definitely. There's always a concern there as to what has happened, whether it's a muscular injury. Hampton under pressure from Shaw plays out. Well, now into Baltimore. Pass inside. Looking for Kira Walsh. Picked off in there by Hasegawa. Now Miedemar tries to take it past Cuff, but one back by Captain. Bit of contention in there. Drops now for Khadija Shaw. Holds the ball up well, but then runs into traffic, really, as Chelsea players surround her. Vika Captain. Now Bjorn.
A little bit hectic, isn't it?
I think that's exactly what Chelsea want. There's so many bodies in there. City have got nowhere to play football.
Yeah, you saw that misplaced pass there from Baltimore. It was Hampton took it past Walsh and then was met by Captain and Cuthbert.
Great touch back there from Beaver Jones. Hamano losing out to a compatriot, Yui Hasegawa. Now coming forwards, though, is Hamano. Plays it into Beaver Jones, who's drove out into this left space. Baltimore drives inside. She tries to find that pass across. Doesn't quite come off. City with the ball, and Chelsea will look to pen them in here. And that is a ball up the line from Alex Greenwood. And great pressure from Chelsea to force the mistake, because that's how to play.
Yeah. Really well worked. It's very, very interesting. Because again, if Chelsea can start getting these passes be a little more accurate and start moving the ball around quicker, then they will make this a very, very competitive game.
And that was a nasty tackle from Lauren Hemp there. Just catching Aaron Cuthbert in the aftermath of that.
Unnecessary as well. Ball had gone. Cuthbert had already released the ball and played on. Hemp just a little bit late. Will only be a talking to, though. Yeah. Understandably so. We're 60 minutes in. Don't want to be throwing around yellow cards. But it was a late one. But again, it shows that eagerness. It shows that aggressive pressure from Man City that they are chasing around. The problem is it doesn't work when Chelsea move that ball quickly and you end up getting there late and committing a foul.
Yeah. Neve Charles on the ball. Now Baltimore. Pass into Hamano. Tries to execute a killer ball inside. Doesn't quite come off Hasegawa. A great interception and then tidy footwork to get out of a tough spot. And now City in settled possession prior. Across to Greenwood. Miedemar, heavy touch. Picked off in there by Vika Captain. And now they can play. Captain was caught there but played through it. Now will be hobbling a little bit. Beaver Jones unable to hold that ball up. Very frantic game at the moment. One high up the pitch here by Chelsea. Cuthbert waiting for support. Goes wide into Carpenter here. Could drive a ball inside. Here's Baltimore. Can't she get a shot away? Lovely turn. Lovely effort. Oh. What a save. Ayaka Yamashita at close range. Tips it round the post. What a stop.
That is a brilliant save. Brilliant save from Yamashita. Chelsea asking for a handball on the way through. And it will be a very interesting one to look back at. But take nothing away from Yamashita. It definitely took a touch of a City defender. But that is a superb save round the post. Did it take a nick off the hand here? Well. Oh, I couldn't see from that one.
But what a save that is from Yamashita. Shooting opportunity. Lovely turn. Catches Kasperai out. Oh, it glances the hand of Lohman.
It's a difficult one.
In a VAR era, I think it would be given. How much impact that has on the flight of the ball, I'm not sure. Ball into the box from Chelsea. It bounced around Hamano, trying to keep this alive now. Captain swung at it, didn't end up following through though, as that would have hit a City player.
That's like I think
Chelsea drop back.
I think that handball's okay. It does touch the arm, but to be honest, as you say, it's the kind of one you don't want to see given, and it actually made it more difficult for Yamashita. It was going straight at the goalkeeper, and I think that slight deflection just forced it towards the corner. But a brilliant stop from City's goalkeeper.
Here is Micah Hamano. Now drills a pass out wide, and Ellie Carpenter does well to get there. A pass now into Captain in the half space, and that rebounds off of her and ends up in a City goal kick.
Again, you can tell this is a brilliant opening game. It's exactly what you expect from that match week one. It is just a little bit of a frenzy.
Oh no, it's the hand. Sorry, the handball looks a lot more from that angle. A lot more contact with the arm of Grace Pryor.
What a save that is, though, from Yamashita.
Yeah, I mean it's handball.
No,
but
it actually takes it to what. If anything, isn't.
Pryor, I think, should count herself incredibly fortunate.
That isn't going to be spotted on the pitch, really. That's a very difficult one to pick out.
Especially considering there was the direction the ball doesn't change too much. Obviously, it does take it slightly closer to Yamashita. You could argue that without it, Yamashita doesn't get there. But
without it was going in. If that was going wide,
well, you don't know. I think that's such a slight impact on the direction of the ball. But yeah, take nothing away from Yamashita. A great start.
Already 20 minutes into the game, and a frantic start, a potential handball, and a brilliant save from Yamashita. That's what the Dark Cell's all about.
Indeed. But all action so far for Chelsea, coming down the right-hand side. Definitely looking to use Ellie Carpenter, who we know can carry the ball well. It is Millie Bright.
And there's been a lot of getting the ball to Carpenter down the right-hand side and then trying to find Baltimore at the back post, who's making that very, very aggressive forward run.
Yeah.
But it's not quite coming off. That ball is being a little bit overhit at the moment.
Chelsea playing so well under the pressure from Manchester City. Here's Carpenter. Now Bjorn. It's interesting to see Millie Bright stepping up in possession into almost a defensive midfield role.
And Charles comes in as the other.
And then you just create, you split the centre backs. Here's Baltimore. Does well to hold it up. Was floored there by Kasparov. Gets back up and continues in possession. Charles goes back to Hampton. A long pass back to Hampton. Hampton doing well there to get to it. Here's Bjorn. Looking for an option in the half space. City now growing wise of that. Bjorn does well to carry it and now can play it down the line. Looking for the run of Captain. Great turn from Hasegawa. Catches a few players out. And she's able to maintain possession for Manchester City. Here is Hasegawa. Now Pryor. Holds on to possession well. Knocks out to the left-hand side. Here's Greenwood. Chipping that ball in behind. And that'll run through to Hannah Hampton. Now Bright. Here's Charles. Back to Hampton. Chelsea just dictating the tempo at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good mix between the Chelsea side, who are very, very good on the ball, against the City side, who are pressing very, very well.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think City would love to have possession, but in a game like this, they can probably pose more of a threat being a more defensively solid side and then looking to be a bit more transitional potentially.
Look at the game they lost at Stamford Bridge last season, where they had all the ball and ended up losing 2-0.
Great pick off there by Micah Hermano, carrying the ball forwards here. Good challenge from Sydney Loan, but the attack keeps going for Chelsea. Captain, well measured in there. Now out to Carpenter. Carpenter looking for a pass back inside. Doesn't quite come off. Here's Walsh. Bjorn. Wanting a forward pass. Natalie Bjorn. Into Walsh. Back to Bjorn. Lovely footwork. A passing connection from this Chelsea side. Playing through the lines with ease. Beaver Jones. Now Bright. Charles, ambitious in possession. Pays off though. Has to go and knock it back to a goalkeeper. And Beaver Jones will put pressure on this as it goes back to Yamashita. And now Chelsea just getting back into their shape, and now they'll press this City team. Greenwood. Pass forwards. City struggling to play out, and that is a Chelsea throw-in on the far side, which Carpenter will come up and take. City really put pressure on Chelsea early on. I think last 15 minutes, though, it started to go one-way traffic. City are holding their own, but Chelsea having all of the ball and dictating the tempo somewhat.
Yeah, 100%. I think that City, even when they get, they can still get out, and that will be the thing that gives them a little bit of hope that they can still try and get out of the pitch somewhat, but it's not really to any effect. Chelsea are now, they're looking better on the ball, which is making City's press more difficult. As I say that, Baltimore gives it away.
Yeah, 66% possession so far for Chelsea. When you consider their victory in this fixture last November was very much the opposite story, where Chelsea were happy to be the defensive side. They let City have possession. I think in that game it's probably 66-34 the other direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very different game to what we saw. Chelsea looking to dominate, be the side with the possession, and City at the moment just trying to be defensively solid and then look to try and spring forwards when they get the opportunity. But at the moment, Chelsea making that very difficult for City. The question for Chelsea, though, is can they get some better chances away? Only 3 shots so far, 1 on target, and just 0.13 expected goals. A pass down the line from Carpenter finds the run of Vika Kapte. Miedemar trying to shield her out of play now, Carpenter. Here's Bjorn. Now Bright, Chelsea incredibly high up the pitch here. Charles. Baltimore into Cuthbert. Walsh, Cuthbert. Lovely combination. Cuthbert now trying to drive it forwards. Hemp a little over zealous, trying to win back possession. Now Baltimore. Chelsea just capped high up the field. Nigel says, I think we're clinging on right now. It looks that way somewhat. Depends, because City are doing well to limit Chelsea to not getting shots away in dangerous areas.
Yeah,
their box defending's been fine. It would just be the concern that at the moment Chelsea are moving the ball with relative ease and City can't get close to them.
Yeah, the warning bells will start ringing if Chelsea start getting some shots on goal.
And that was a little clumsy from Rose, and that is going to be a free kick. Not sure she needed to step in as aggressively as she did there. The Canadian, just keen to try and win back possession, steps into Hamano, gives away the foul.
Yeah, it's not been I think Rose looked pretty comfortable, before that, and was
She doesn't look out of place, and
no.
that's probably the biggest compliment you can give her at this stage.
Just a bit of, as you say, overexcited there and jumps in and gets it slightly wrong, but I don't mind that. A young player trying to come into a big game and impose herself, and overall I think she's done pretty well. Yeah,
ball forwards there. Beaver Jones trying to touch it down to her teammate Cuthbert. Now Hamano, can they get a shot away here? The Blues. Hamano tries to play it through to Baltimore, out for a Chelsea corner. Just try to do too much in there. Hamano's got to take the shot herself, you feel? Yeah, 100%. Chelsea just got to start pulling this trigger. They do well to turn the ball over half the pitch. Hamano running to the penalty area. Not sure why you're trying to pass there. Yeah. You're 18 yards from goal in the penalty area. Got to have a go. Got to try and find the back of the net from there. There was no room for what she was trying to do with Baltimore. If that's a few yards deeper, maybe you can pull that off. But in there, you just got to have a shot. Ball into a dangerous area. It bounces through. City with an ad hoc clearance, but it has done the job. And out for a Chelsea throw-in. City won't get away with too many more of them. Allowing the ball to bounce in your own penalty area from a corner is very, very risky. Yeah, indeed. Here's Bright. Now leave Charles. Pass out wide into Sandy Baltimore. Goes inside to Hamano. Bounces it back now to her wing back. Walsh tries to play that too quickly through the lines, and City regain possession. The odd thing for City at the moment is when they win the ball back, they want to be the side that dictate the tempo. Yeah. Rather than trying to be, trying to make it something happen. If they played the passes quickly, maybe they catch Chelsea out in those situations. But instead, they drop deep again and let Chelsea get into a defensive shape. Yeah. I just feel if City are looking to try and get a goal early on here, and I think ultimately they are just looking to conserve at the moment, but they are looking to get a goal. They've got to be a bit more ambitious. They've got to try and make something happen in those transitional moments. And that ball played forward from Rose, almost finding Khadija Shaw. Maybe that's what you do. Does really well. Just kick it long and hope Khadija Shaw can run onto it. Well judged. Well judged in the end by Hannah Hampton, but it was a good run. And I tell you what, Shaw wasn't too far away from getting there, but Hampton watched it all the way and dealt with it accordingly. Although that's been turned over by City heart of the pitch, but given straight back by Chelsea. Baltimore. Pass up the line, looking for Hamano, touches it past Rose, and now to Beaver Jones. And it's Beaver Jones against Pryor. Can she get a shot away here, Aggie Beaver Jones? Looking for a passing option. Not sure what she's looking to do there. Feel like she's got to take that alone in that position, but... And now City looks to transition. Looking to counter. Shaw to Hemp, who wants to be direct. Drives inside. And manages to hit the referee with a pass, and that will be a drop ball.
Again, very slow down there from Hemp. 2-on-3. Shaw and her have got to go for it. Work together. Try and get something. But yeah, going back to that moment at the other end, Chelsea have got to start pulling the trigger. So one thing they're getting wrong is they're trying to pass it into the net. Chelsea have got to start getting some shots off and testing Yamashita.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if not, City are going to get a shot away and potentially take the lead here.
Rose, Greenwood, now Lohman. Back to Rose. Pass out wide into Hasegawa. Kasparai. Here's Hemp. Back to Hasegawa. Now Rose. Now Hasegawa. Hamano putting her under pressure here. Does really well to play a pass through the lines into Kasparai. That's one back in there by Niamh Charles, who can now drive this ball forward for Chelsea. Kasparai hands all over trying to pull her back. Chelsea maintain possession though. Walsh. Here's Millie Bright. Charles. Baltimore. Lovely give and go between Baltimore and Walsh, who now plays a pass into Cuthbert, and Chelsea can make this pitch wide, switching from left to right. Here's Natalie Bjorn, now plays it into Carpenter, who's making the run past Greenwood now. Ball across the box, looking for Beaver Jones, and Chelsea lead. Carpenter, ball across the box, Beaver Jones front post, and it's Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0. An electric move, building up on the left-hand side, playing through the lines, out to the right-hand side. Carpenter burst past Alex Greenwood, a ball flashed across the penalty area, and Aggie Beaver Jones touching home with the near post. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0. And you felt that was coming, but Chelsea there inviting Man City onto them and playing into the space left behind them. Lovely stuff. Carpenter breaks away well. Aggie Beaver Jones with their first of the season.
What a move this was from Chelsea. A brilliant example of how to move the ball from back to front quickly, catch the opposition out. And that, as you say, has been coming. Chelsea had a lot of joy getting the ball to Ellie Carpenter down the right-hand side. She blasts past Greenwood. Beaver Jones makes the right run towards the front post and fires it past Yamashita. That has been coming for the reigning champions. Such a deft finish from Beaver Jones. Doesn't try and fire it into the net. The ball has to pace on it from Carpenter. Aggie Beaver Jones just has to guide it into the goal. And Chelsea, who have started well in this game, now have the advantage.
And do you think that's perhaps the mistake from City? Greenwood there just couldn't keep up with Carpenter. Perhaps a natural left back would have been able to. A ball forwards here for City. Khadija Shaw's going to get there. She's going to beat Millie Bright. Massive stop from Hannah Hampton. Massive stop, and then it hits the arm of Khadija Shaw in the aftermath. But Chelsea there, so soon after scoring, could have been undone. Bjorn missed the interception. Bright overcommitted. Hannah Hampton, though, makes up for it with a fabulous stop.
Once again, Shaw into a dangerous area, but Hannah Hampton are denying it. And that is both a brilliant example of the dangers of Khadija Shaw, but the brilliance of Hannah Hampton, who can laugh and smile about it now, but a very, very important save in the contest of this match. Again, it's another long ball from City, looking for Shaw directly, that just seems to pay off and get the better of the Chelsea backline. Really good stuff from Shaw. Not much more she could have done. Very good goalkeeping from Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, indeed. Greenwood now plays the pass forward into Yui Hasegawa, back to Greenwood. And now Hasegawa. Lohman. Great ball carrying from City's midfielder. Cut out by Carpenter. Here's Micah Hamano. Trying to play it out wide. One back in there by Chelsea. Neither side at the moment able to hold on to the ball. Bit of a game of hot potato in there. Ends in a City throw. And now the Sky Blues can try and settle into possession. But they've struggled to get a foot on the ball tonight, Manchester City. Chelsea being the dominant force on and off the ball. They've been hard to break down. They've been brilliant on the ball. And they've ultimately got the important opening goal. Pass forward. Flipped back by Murphy. And now it goes all the way back to Pryor.
Yes,
now Rose.
It's not been bad from City. I just think there's a couple of players that might just too many passengers on the pitch at the moment. They've played well, they've pressed well, but it's just been a little bit quiet from a couple of players across the board.
Yeah, there's a few players feeling anonymous at the moment. I'd say all of the front four. I don't think we've seen enough from. And it's difficult because they're not getting much of the ball, so it's difficult to say, because if they're not getting the service, what can they do with it? But at the moment, they're just not involved in the game.
Yeah, I think Shaw's a bit harsh, because I do think she's had 2 opportunities, gone through and has hit the target in a 2-on-1 situation.
But Khadija Shaw 1-on-1s, often you expect her to find the back of the net with those.
Yeah, that is true, but they've been difficult angles.
They're not fantastic opportunities. Just saying, I don't think the City front four, and that's not necessarily the players' fault. At the moment, the system isn't getting them the ball. They're not really making anything happen at the moment. And it's difficult. They're playing up against a back five of Chelsea, which is looking really defensively solid at the moment. But we're just not really seeing any of City's attackers get in this game. So, free kick now, Khadija Shaw brought down. This could be a chance to level here against the run of play for Manchester City. Hasegawa and Greenwood over this again then. Greenwood will take this one to a strike on goal off the post. Great chance, great effort. And Alex Greenwood, unfortunate there, not to put that in the back of the net. Great effort. Denied by the Woodwork. Here's Murphy, squares up to Carpenter. Dangerous ball headed away by Natalie Bjorn.
Tell you what, Hannah Hampton was beaten there. Rattling the crossbar, Alex Greenwood.
What I have to say, though, is where's the reaction afterwards? City players should be sprinting in that ball. Hampton down on the ground after diving for the ball skewing off. Someone's got to react.
Yeah, he need to watch it back. It did fall into a bunch of bodies.
Ball forward from Hampton. Here's Rose.
But better, that whole move there is better from City. Got Shaw involved. She holds it up, wins a free kick off Bright, who dives in. Turn the free kick over, and Greenwood rattles the crossbar.
Ball forward from Manchester City.
That
ball bounce out for a Chelsea goal kick.
City have had opportunities tonight. Has to be said. Hampton's denied Shaw twice, and Greenwood here rattling the crossbar, bounces in there. Miedemar throws herself at it, takes out Ellie Carpenter in the process. But yeah, Hampton was beat. Miedemar, a brilliant attempt.
To be fair, yeah.
To get anything on it, tumbles into Carpenter, and Chelsea just about to get away with it. But another opportunity for City. They've been few and far between, but when they have come forwards, they have tested Hannah Hampton or hit the frame of the goal.
Ball forwards from Hampton. Beaver Jones, lovely hold up, a touch back to Hermano. Now she'll look to execute it in behind, looking for Aggie Beaver Jones. Price does really well there to decide when to step in. Times it right and clears the ball away. Here's Cuthbert. Now Charles. Bright. Out to Natalie Bjorn. Captain. Back to Carpenter. Lovely hold up. Now Chelsea can look to switch from right to left. Charles pass back inside. Cuthbert turns out, goes to Bjorn. Out now to Carpenter. Forced back to Bjorn. Better pressing now from Manchester City, and Hampton forced long. Don't mind that. But very much improved pressing structure from Manchester City there. Putting the goalkeeper, putting the team under pressure, forcing that ball back, forcing the ball long. It's ultimately what they've got to keep doing.
Yeah, I think that they now realise this is a massive part to play in this game now. There's 8 minutes till the half-time interval. They've got to make sure that they're, at the very, very least, they're going into that break 1-0 down. They cannot afford to concede again in the next 7 minutes. Got to be smart with it. Keep the ball, try and get up there and score a goal, but do not allow Chelsea back into it.
Jade Rose trying to execute a ball in behind, but that will go straight through to the gloves of Hannah Hampton. Right. Pass inside to Walsh. Walsh out wide now into Sondi Baltimore. Baltimore down the line. Hermano. Back to Baltimore. Charles. Now Bright. Lovely touch and turn from Erin Cuthbert. Bjorn. Here's Kira Walsh. Pass inside to Micah Hermano. Now Erin Cuthbert. does really well to hold off Yui Hasagara, and Chelsea coming forwards here. They've got a numerical advantage and overload Cuthbert. Sorry, Carpenter towards the back post. Baltimore across the face of goal, and that was flagged as that ball had gone off the end of the pitch.
Yeah, just ran out from Carpenter again. It was a little bit overhit, trying to swing it towards Baltimore to cut it back, who did well to pick out Captain, but I think it had just ran out of play. Get a better view from this again. Loads of joy for Chelsea down the right-hand side of Carpenter.
I thought Baltimore kept that in.
That angle told us nothing. Great help.
Yeah, that is true. That was very difficult to see, but yeah. Out now for a Chelsea throw-in. Ali Carpenter on the ball. 40 minutes played, approaching half-time. You'd have to say Sonia Bompastor will be very pleased with what she's seen from Chelsea so far. Barely put a foot wrong. Looking really tidy in possession, looking really organised out of possession. And Charles steps up and intervenes at the right moment there. Hasegawa. Pryor.
Yes.
Now Rose.
City will be very happy to, not happy, but we'll from this position, we'll be content with only being a goal down at half time.
Yeah.
You know, they started well, they've had opportunities to score, but on the whole, it has been at Chelsea's half. So to still be in the game and to still have had some, pot shots and some opportunities is not a bad thing.
Miedemar lumping that long. I think just wanted to try and put the Chelsea back line under a bit of pressure, but Carpenter does well. Pass out though, picked off by Shaw, and City could use this now. Lumped ball inside for Hemp. Now Miedemar. Pass out wide into Kasparai. Squares up to Baltimore. Could she make something happen at the end of the half here? Ball into a dangerous area. Crucial intervention from Niamh Charles. And then Baltimore doing well there to win a goal kick.
Better from City. Much better. Kick the ball long, win it high up the pitch, shift it from left to right. Miedemar picking out Kasparai, who did well actually to just shift it out of her feet, get the ball in. Hemp had made the front post run. So it was a crucial intervention from Niamh Charles. But better from Man City, a lot sharper and a lot more fluid. And if Charles hadn't got a toe onto that ball, then that would have fallen to Lauren Hemp at the front post and potentially level this match.
Yeah, indeed. Bright. Forward ball, lumped long. Here's Greenwood. Wants to play it inside, cut out by Erin Cuthbert. City are lacking width at the moment on the left-hand side. Massively lacking width. Because you've got Greenwood, who's naturally just sitting in a little narrower, and they're playing a back three in build-up. And then at left wing, or on in that left wide space, there really isn't anyone.
And I don't think Lily Murphy's touched the ball today. I think it's been a really difficult half. Just haven't really got involved.
Charles. Baltimore. Well, back in there by Kirsten Kasparai. Now Rose. Here's Lohman. There, you went onto the stream, just took Carpenter out of my fantasy team for Riviere. That's got a sting. I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking about Carpenter. I was thinking about Beaver Jones. God, I didn't make that decision in the end.
I don't think I've got anyone in this game. I honestly can't remember.
I've only got Baltimore. And I would have had Germa, but she's not even in the squad. Out there. City trying to play a combination between Hemp and Kasparai. Too quick, though. And out for a Chelsea throw. He slip. Insisting Baltimore drops back a few yards here. And now she can take the throw. She'll go back to Charles. Now Hampton. Back to Niamh Charles. And to Sondi Baltimore. And a pass inside to Micah Hamano. Cuthbert. Walsh picked up in there by Manchester City. Shaw tries to turn Bright. Finds Murphy. Pass forwards. Could have been dangerous. One back in there by Niamh Charles.
Again, as Murphy got to try and pull the trigger there, there wasn't a more forward option. So for that pass to go forwards is a little bit surprising to me. I feel like she's just got to go for goal or pass it to someone. Just kind of kicked it forwards almost and just hope that there'll be someone in the vicinity.
Here is Jade Rose. Now Lohman. Great control, but forced backwards by the Chelsea press. Greenwood. Hasegawa. One back in there by Chelsea. City regain possession now, though, with Murphy. Hops to go backwards. Greenwood. Now Hasegawa, who's pulled out left into the wide space. Miedemar, great hold up, brings Hasegawa into the game, who strikes it. Blocked, though, by the first player. One back up the pitch here by City. First period of sustained pressure from Manchester City. One back in there by Hermano. Walsh into Beaver Jones. Good hold up. Finds a pass back to Walsh, albeit slightly fortunate. Bjorn. Back now to Hampton under pressure from Khadija. Shaw will knock it out of play. 3 minutes of additional time to supplement this first 45. And City really ramping up the pressure now. Hemp. Great defending from Baltimore. Drops for Kasparai. Looking for a combination here. Comes off Sunday Baltimore. City throwing again. Ramping up the pressure at the end of the half. Lauren Hemp. One back in there by Chelsea. Another look to play out. And that is out for a Chelsea throw.
Well managed by Chelsea. City trying to end the half with a bang. But Chelsea are doing well to just see out this 1-0 lead so far.
And that there, a Chelsea goal kick. And that will help them really tick the time down. Jeglertz in discussion of how to solve the problem at the moment that they're facing.
I'd love to know what that conversation was. I don't think he'll be disappointed with what he's seen, but obviously there is room for improvement. Very much so for Man City.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if Chelsea come forward looking for a second. Again, it's coming down that right-hand side.
And it's Ellie Carpenter. Can she look to deliver the ball? Holds it up nicely. Bjorn. Little lackadaisical in possession there, but does well to hold on to the ball. Now Bright. Charles. Pass inside to Hermano. Touches heavy. Drags her slightly out of the desired position. The difficult thing for City, and what they've got 15 minutes to work out, is how do you match up against this Chelsea team? At the moment, they're struggling really to mark everyone.
Yeah.
The passes through the lines, the Chelsea finding with relative ease. Shot from range! And that whistles past the post. Not bad from Viviana Miedemar. She drove it forwards. And was able to release a shot, won it off of Erin Cuthbert in there. And then was just able to release a shot from range. Didn't trouble the goalkeeper, but did have a bit of venom behind it.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. Try and work Hampton. They've had a couple of shots. City, but not terrible that from Miedemar, just driving it forwards and trying to get something going. Been a bit of a flurry at the end here for City. Last couple of minutes have been particularly strong.
Yeah, Chelsea just trying to slip into the break now. And as we tick over 48, that is the whistle. Premier League East lit to signal the end of the first half. At half-time, it's Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0. Aggie Beever-Jones' goal, the decisive one in that first 45. For the big talk of that first half, Chelsea with a system change, with a shape change, looking comfortable in possession. City struggling really to keep up with the tempo of the game. But at the moment, it's Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0. What we can say, though, very positively for City is they've limited Chelsea to a very few shots. 4 shots in total for Chelsea in that first half, just 2 on target. For context, City having more shots with 6, but still only 2 on target. So the difference maker at the moment is Chelsea created the best opportunity of the game and they put it away. And Chelsea have had all of the ball, 60% possession. But we did see towards the end of the half that City starting to figure out what Chelsea are doing. The problem City are having is stopping those Chelsea balls, particularly the passes from the wide centre-backs into the 210s.
Yeah, Chelsea have done very, very well. They've got on the ball, they've moved it quickly, and they've got Hermano and they've got Captain into the game quickly. And that is exactly what needed to happen. It started a little bit slow and it wasn't quite happening. The passes weren't as accurate and precise as they need to be. But once Chelsea got that ball moving and they got the ball, got Hermano and got Captain into this game, you then unlock Carpenter and Baltimore, and suddenly Chelsea had a lot of joy, especially on that right-hand side. The ball into Captain, who can spread it out wide to Carpenter, who has then been bursting down that right-hand side. It's how Chelsea got their goal, and it's how they've had a lot of joy, by putting pressure onto Man City. But Chelsea, once they got going, it's really clicked, and they've played some nice stuff. As you say, they probably would like a few more efforts, and they've probably been in the positions. It's just that decision making. It's exactly what you get in match week 1. That there's probably been a few where Chelsea have tried to shift the ball on, but could have probably taken an effort themselves, and that's the difference. Where City have done well to get into good areas and get shots away, Chelsea have just tried to pass it a little bit into the goal. But City have done well to force those decisions and to force Chelsea to play that extra pass, play that unnecessary ball, and. Yeah, it just happens to be that Chelsea managed to put away one of those 4 chances because it was probably the best chance of the game. And that's the difference, is that, yes, City have limited Chelsea only to 4 shots, but the chances that Chelsea have had, forced a brilliant save out of Yamashita, one end up in the goal. And that, very easily could have been 2-0. It is only 1-0, thankfully for Man City, but it just shows that even when you do limit Chelsea to small chances, those small chances are usually still very, very good chances. Where, yes, Man City have had more shots, and don't get me wrong, Shaw has had 2 efforts that have both been denied by Hampton that were decent opportunities. But we've also seen a few pot shots, and obviously, the dead ball free kick from Greenwood that was on target, but it was a dead ball situation. So City have done well to get shots away and take a few more risks and just get that shot away early and try and test Hampton. But Chelsea have probably created the better chances, despite maybe holding on for it a bit too long in certain situations.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's the things that are breaking down Chelsea's attack at the moment are the classic signs from the opening game of the season. Because at the moment, it's the control is a little bit sloppy, a little bit heavy. The passes and the connection is a little bit off at the moment. We're seeing a lot of these tight. There's a lot of tidy combinations, but there are times where it's not quite coming off. But they're trying to play it a little bit too quickly, or the understanding perhaps isn't there yet. And so I think that's stuff that will iron itself out. So what we've seen really positively from Chelsea is an understanding of the structure they could use this season. I think what we've seen a lot of are those wide centre-backs looking to execute passes into those 10s. And we're seeing Chelsea progress the ball a lot in that manner by finding those passes through the lines. That's been really effective so far. So yeah, they're doing really well at that.
Yeah, I think
that's how they're progressing the ball, looking to find the width as well then from the wing back.
And the biggest thing that what they have done superbly is take the pressure and take the workload off of Kira Walsh. There isn't such a reliance when you play a midfield composition of Cuthbert, Walsh, and Captain. There isn't just this anticipation that Walsh is just going to sit there and defend, and it's going to be the only one that can pick the ball up with facing her own net and move it. I thought that all 3 of them have done very well at kind of just shifting round almost. We've seen Cuthbert pop as a deeper player, not so much Captain, but she's been dropping in to help out. She's not stood 15 yards away from Walsh and Cuthbert. She is coming closer and giving them something else to work with. Or they're skipping, or, as you say, they take the pressure off by skipping Walsh and Cuthbert entirely. And that means that Chelsea have got more than one way to progress the ball. It stopped working last year because the ball would get into Kira Walsh, she'd have nowhere to go, get caught on it, and Chelsea would be caught in a very, very difficult position. But you've just taken that weight off of Walsh by finding a different way to progress the ball.
The box midfield is giving what we expect from Chelsea. It's a numerical advantage in midfield. There's a bit of dynamism in there in the sense that the 4 players are rotating a lot of positional rotations in there. But what it's giving structurally is an overload all the time in midfield. Yeah. So what we're seeing is that in different stages of the game, Chelsea have options in different areas. So if depending on how City are pressing, Chelsea are finding spaces in different areas. If Miedemar is the only one pressing the midfield pivot, then Chelsea are always going to have one option there. And then perhaps the 2 10s are going to be covered. but Chelsea can still progress the ball, and then as City try and jump up, space opens up between the lines. Or if someone presses up with Miedemar, that we've seen at times, either Lohman or Hasegawa pushes up, then they'll mark the two defensive midfielders, and Chelsea will use the wide centre backs to play through the lines into the 10s, one of whom is going to be unmarked at that point. Or we're seeing the wide players come a little bit narrower, and they're coming and they're marking the defensive midfielders for Chelsea, and that's going to leave space in the wing backs. So at the moment, what Chelsea are doing very effectively is they're always having a free player in possession, and the way that they're giving up the other player is that they haven't got really. They've got obviously one striker compared to two centre backs, and then they've got the wing backs who are either operating as wing backs, and then the wingers are marking them, or they're pushing up higher. At the moment, City are just struggling to deal with Chelsea across the field, really, because the wingers are trying to track the wing backs at times, but then you've got two players on each side dealing with wide players. So there's a lot of players just not really doing anything. They don't really know whether they should push up onto the centre backs or not. They're really struggling to deal with that three backs. So yeah, it's been really interesting to watch from that point of view.
That's the thing. Were City tonight expecting to be pressing a fullback?
Doesn't look like it.
No,
it really doesn't look like it. I think. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. I meant the other way around. Yeah, they look like they were expecting to press a fullback. I think for me, what's been really interesting, what I expect now to see from Andree Jeglertz is a change to a front two. Because if you put Miedemar and Shaw, suddenly you make Chelsea's life very difficult because you've got your two strikers pressing up against the back threes. It'll be very interesting then how that changes City's press across the board. But yeah, at the moment we're seeing pretty much what we expected if Chelsea were going to use the five back. There's space across the field. Their system is working perfectly.
Exactly. But as you mentioned there, the difference is, which for me is different from last season when you had a Gareth Taylor, or I think Skinner and Slagers are both, they both do it, is that we rarely saw sides be pragmatic and change against Chelsea. Will Jeglertz make that change now at half-time?
Jeglertz is incredibly adaptable and very pragmatic, so I would expect something to change in this second half. I don't think life will be as easy as it has been for Chelsea. Well, the problem could be, though, is what do you do? There's so little understanding of how to beat this Chelsea team yet. This clearly isn't something that they've prepared for yet.
No.
Potentially he comes up with something brilliant at half-time. But, I don't think I think if they go on to lose this game now, Manchester City, because they don't make the right tactical adjustment, I don't think you can blame Jeglertz. And the thing for Jeglertz is, with the current system, I don't see them conceding more than another goal in the second half, unless it all completely falls apart. A reason why they conceded was defensive errors. Greenwood couldn't deal with Ellie Carpenter.
Yeah.
The centre-backs, two of them couldn't deal with Aguilar Jones. They both failed to do their job correctly. And obviously the pressing structure didn't really work. But that's the structural element. Now, yes, they can fix that, but if defensive errors remain, and it's very difficult to change that structure very quickly. So, there's lots of variables. For me, I think we'll likely see them try something different in the second half. City try and press Chelsea slightly differently, but yeah, it's not a foregone conclusion that you just go, well, we'll do this, and then suddenly Chelsea won't be able to play it out anymore. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see what Jeglertz chooses to do, but whatever he does do, it's not a foregone conclusion that's going to work.
I think the main thing is that they are in the game. That if you're Andree Jeglertz, your first game managing Manchester City up against Chelsea, the fact you've got to half-time and you haven't been blown out the water is a good start. And of course, we wouldn't expect City that to happen, but it is very important because even 2-0 down is a completely different game. But as we saw in that first half, City did get some opportunities. They could have walked into this game at 1-1, and that's the thing, is that they could, even if they don't as you say, they don't change anything, they could try and get, not get away with, but keep playing this defensive way, keep doing what they're doing, try and shut Chelsea out, and hope to get a goal against run of play. Hope to get a goal on the counter-attack. That's a very possible option, because it wasn't a terrible half from City. Has to be said, it was a good half between two good sides, but Chelsea's quality made the difference, and for me, Ellie Carpenter has been a massive part of that. She has been incredible in this game. What a debut for Chelsea. 45 minutes of terrorising City down that right-hand side. Has beaten Greenwood for pace, already got an assist now, so that's contribution 1 off the mark, and has looked so dangerous running down that right and cutting the ball, where it's cutting the ball back to the edge of the penalty area, firing it into the front post, looping it up to the back post. Very, very dangerous from Carpenter, and looking to be a very, very good addition already, because she's giving Chelsea what that Bronze does in attack, but without looking so fragile. I thought Carpenter's looked pretty sturdy as well when going the other way. It does help that, again, it's a different one. Has Lily Murphy been quiet because Carpenter's been good? Has Carpenter, though, not been tested because Lily Murphy hasn't touched the football? It's a difficult way to look at it that way.
Yeah, bit of both.
Yeah.
None of City's attack has been particularly involved in this match. I think Murphy's the one who's sort of faded out of the game the most. I'd say Sidney Lohman as well has really struggled to have much of an impact on the game. But City are just outnumbered everywhere across the field, it feels like. The way that Chelsea are set up at the moment, it feels like they are... Because of the way that the system works, they feel like they've got an overload in attacking areas, and yet they've got more defenders than City have attackers. So it's really, at the moment, the midfield is currently very difficult to play through, and City are struggling in there because they're being outworked and outnumbered by Chelsea every time. The defence at the moment for Chelsea, when they drop into a 5-back, is very difficult to break down, but when Chelsea come forwards and it's a front 5 running at City's back 4, they look at odds and ends, they look lost. And at the moment, Chelsea are just nailing it across the board. They're getting overloads in every position. So, yeah, they're City smashing it so far. Shadow Puck was saying, not exactly the blockbusting start to the new season I was expecting, to be honest, but lots to talk about tactically. I think this is pretty much what you expect, though, from big games nowadays. Everyone builds them up, two big clubs facing off, but actually they do tend to be two teams just managing risk instead of looking to try and play incredible football, which makes sense given the calibre of opponent they're facing.
Yeah, exactly, especially this early in the season. You don't want to give anything away. If you go gun-ho tonight and lose 3-0, then you've put yourself at a massive disadvantage, but at least it was an exciting game. But, match week 1, both sides have been very conservative. I think they would both be pretty content where they're sat with. Chelsea would probably like to be in a little bit more control of the game while they were on top. City would obviously like to not be losing. But I think there's plenty of time for that to change. I think that City have just got to pick it up a little bit. They've got to match the pace of Chelsea, because at the moment, Chelsea are just moving it a little bit too quickly for City to keep up. And although I think in some areas they've done well in the press, and obviously players like Hasegawa can keep up with that pace and can deal with that, I think Lohman looks half a yard off it. And I don't mean that she's unfit and can't run like Chelsea do. It's just that step up to the WSL. The game is moving a lot quicker than the Frauen Bundesliga. It's about adjusting to probably the quickest league in the world. Yeah,
but also a completely new system. She's playing in the midfield too, where they've kind of outnumbered. Midfield 3 if you count Viviana Miedemar, though she's more of a second striker than a traditional attacking midfielder. Yeah, they're just being outnumbered in there every time at the moment.
And because Hasegawa can keep up with being outnumbered and can deal with it because she's got the legs of 2 players, it is difficult on your debut to keep up with that Chelsea midfield.
Yeah, the problem for City is they probably don't have the solutions from the bench to solve it. If they had someone like Jess Park, I would say the easy way to solve this would be to put her on the right wing, Hemp on the left wing, and then be pushing Park inside to get another creative player into your midfield without obviously compromising the entire system. And then obviously Kasper overlaps, so you get then a bit more of a front 5 and you put a bit more pressure on Chelsea. But yeah, I feel that I look at the bench for City and their attacking options are Blinkilder and Laura Coombs.
Wow.
Well, obviously with Firgino still out injured, Fowler out injured, Caroline not sure. Wasn't aware of an injury for her coming into this season, but I'm assuming some sort of fitness doubt there.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Clinton's only just joined. Pritchard's just gone out on loan. It does leave them a little short.
Yeah,
in attacking options. So I do worry they don't have enough, really, to come off the bench. Iman Bene could come on, though. They could, bring Bene onto the right-hand side, get more of an out-and-out winger. And, yeah, I'd be interested to see what they do choose to do there. But, yeah, at the moment, it's kind of been all Chelsea. Whether City can challenge that or not, we'll have to wait and see.
So it doesn't look to be any changes for either side at the break. But 45 minutes where City need to find a response. Chelsea will be looking to try and kill this game off as quickly as possible, you feel. A second goal for Chelsea in the first 5-10 minutes this half would really put them in a comfortable position. For City, it's about staying in the game and then coming back at Chelsea as the game... As the minutes clock down, really.
Absolutely. So as you say, no changes for either side at the break. Chelsea leading by 1-0 as we get back underway here at Stamford Bridge. It's Lauren Hemp from the middle, waiting for Heaslip's whistle. And she'll be waiting a second longer, then knocks it back. We're back underway. Another 45 minutes in this season opener. Chelsea looking to continue their invincible run under Sonia Bompastor. City looking to land an early blow to the champions. At the moment, though, it's Chelsea who lead the charge. So Chelsea in possession. Hampton sends the ball forwards. Beaver Jones, nice touch looking for Hermano. One back in there by Kasparai. And now it's City in possession. Pryor. Now Greenwood. Pass out into the wide area. Cut out by Cuthbert, but that, or Captain, is out for a Man City throw. City have got to look to get Khadija Shaw on the ball more, though. Got to look to get Shaw and Miedemar combining. The most dangerous chance they had in that half was Miedemar playing a ball through to Khadija Shaw.
Shaw's been through twice and has been denied by Hannah Hampton, but at least it's 2 shots on target.
Chelsea putting City under great pressure here. They do well to play out of it, though. Manchester City moving from left to right. Now Rose.
Rose has done well. Being thrown in the deep end, really, starting your first or so game for City away at Chelsea. I think she's looked pretty comfortable, dealt with the occasion well. Hasn't really put her foot wrong. Not much she could have done for the goal or anything like that.
Yeah.
Especially partnered with great, Pryor.
Could she have done more for the goal?
Well,
Let's Beaver Jones run across her. Yeah, Pryor should definitely do more at the front
exactly.
post.
It's not her player, really, because she's got to think about Baltimore bursting in at the back post.
Well, that's Kasparai's job.
Yeah, but Kasparov was miles off somewhere. Had gone somewhere.
Yeah, so was Baltimore.
Yeah, no, but I don't think there's much she could have done to stop the goal going in.
Yeah, she could have got a goal side, but I just think she reacted a little bit late to it, and Beaver Jones was, alert to the situation.
I think it's poor from Greenwood shouldn't let come to get the ball in, and Pryor and Yamashita at the front post have got to deal with that better between the two of them.
Yamashita a little bit hung out to dry, I feel, but yeah, give it so. Carpenter tries to play it forwards. Hasegawa, now Miedemar. Touch and turn. Back to Pryor, now Greenwood. Do you feel that they could have played it safer tonight, City? Played a Harvey left back, Greenwood in the back line. Just looked to be a bit more defensively solid.
Yeah, potentially. I think that.
But I like the boldness of starting 2 young centre backs.
They've tried to find a balance between being conservative, but also trying to be strong and take the game to Chelsea. And I think that they've found a pretty decent balance, but overall have struggled a little bit.
And Ellie Carpenter, one of the highest players for Chelsea in that first half. I think that speaks volumes about the role she'll play this season as a wing back in games like these. The bigger question it's going to open up is, will Chelsea now use this formation constantly? Will they switch between this and a 4-2-3-1? Have to wait and see. Drops has a go. A great effort. Great stop from Hannah Hampton. Now Chelsea could look to break. Captain brought down in there by Khadija Shaw. That one not a nice one, but Chelsea still have possession. Baltimore, Beaver Jones out for a Chelsea throw.
Again, another chance for City that comes from nothing, but still forces a good save out of Hampton. It's a good ball in.
Headed away in there by Bjorn, rushing onto it. Hasegawa struck it nicely.
Yeah,
but it was straight down the throat of the England and Chelsea goalkeeper.
Caught it really well, and that's the thing. That goes outside the goalkeeper. Then Hampton's in a bit of trouble, but she does well to just parry it away.
Yeah.
But again, it's another shot on target for Man City. It's another opportunity. Another save from Hannah Hampton.
Hasegawa, great control. Cut out there by Sandy Baltimore. Running out of room, though, is Sandy Baltimore. One high at the pitch by Kasparai. Now it's Hemp. Ball cut out by Hermano. And now Beaver Jones will look to put Pryor under pressure. Pass back to Yamashita, though, and City stay in possession. Rose. Ball down the line into Kirsten Kasparai. Now looking to execute one in behind, and it's cut out well by Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, Shaw asking for that one on the floor, and understandably so. Shaw knows that she can beat Bright in the foot race. So that if you put it along the floor, you take the goalkeeper out of the equation, you take height out of the equation. and it becomes a straight foot race between Shaw and Bright, which Shaw will win. What a ball that is from Miedemar down to find Mead, to find Hemp.
And she's taking it to the corner here with Niamh Charles on her back, Lauren Hemp. Plays the pass to Kirsten Kasparai. And now Rose. Back to Kasparai. Now Hemp. Kasparai, can she deliver it into the right sort of area? Bright gets in front of it. And that's out now for a corner.
Yeah, it does well there, Millie Bright. Really good piece of defending that. Judges the flight of the ball early. Separates herself and Shaw and then gets a good header away. Not allowing the City striker to get anywhere near that cross.
I think it's more the neck, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Something on it. And that's the thing, if she misses that falls straight to Shaw unmarked. But well judged by Millie Bright.
Greenwood over this. Can she pick out a City player in the box? Delivery in towards the back post. Shaw trying to meet it. Glancing it wide, and she's furious at the decision there to award a goal kick.
She travelled a long way to get there, Khadija Shaw. Started around the penalty area and the charge in towards the back post, and I think just skewed it wide. As you say, she thinks it's a goal kick. I don't think it was. I'll have a look here. Who did the last touch come off? No, it's definitely Shaw head to head it off.
Sure. One back in there by Cuthbert. Walsh, Baltimore under pressure, loses out to Kasparai. City starting the second half at a much higher tempo. A greater sense of urgency, you feel. Greenwood. Now Pryor. Lohman. Trying to drive that ball forwards. Finds Murphy, who's held the touchline well. Looking to take on Carpenter. Now then, Carpenter gets in front of it. And it's a corner again.
Well defended that by Carpenter, but City starting to move this ball much quicker. You saw from Greenwood there when Pryor took a touch and stood on it, she was trying to get her to speed it up. Little burst from Lohman as well. Much better from Man City. They've reacted well at the break. Much quicker tempo. And starting to cause Chelsea a few problems. Again, Khadija Shaw piling in at the back post for this.
And it's a Hasegawa delivery towards that back post. Rose tries to meet it. Ball spinning up in the air. Niamh Charles rises to head it away. Bright gets it out. Not far away enough, though. Hamano gets in front of it. And Chelsea clear their lines. But at the moment, under the cosh, are the champions.
Again, scuffed that from Greenwood. If she connects that properly, then Chelsea could have been in a bit of a spot above that. Just scuffed it up in the air. Sent it goalwards, but there was no pace behind it. Chelsea just managed to deal with it.
Yamashita. Now Rose. Kasparai. Shaw, lovely give and go. Finding Lauren Hemp, who can play it across the box. Has the goal flicked on, and it whistles past the far post. Tidy touch from Hasegawa, but can't quite find the target.
Brilliant football from Man City down the right-hand side. Lovely give and go between Shaw and Hemp, who plays a brilliant ball into the front post. Great run from Hasegawa. I'll tell you what, that is a brilliant kind of piece of inventive play, that from Hasegawa, to try and flick it towards the bottom corner and just whistle past the far post. But I tell you what, that was close. Much better from Man City. Lovely little flick from Hasegawa, and probably is a bit unlucky there to not find the far corner.
Yeah. Greenwood. One back by Carpenter. Walsh into Cuthbert. Now Bjorn. Cuthbert. Ball in behind, and that's going to run through to Ayaka Yamashita. Jade Rose. Now Kasparai, Rose.
I feel like we've watched two different football games here tonight. First half, second half, been very different.
Yeah.
Roles always been reversed. Chelsea are sitting in and hoping to deliver these 3 points. City are looking to change that.
Lohman, that's picked off well by Chelsea, who will now look to break and look to be direct. And Lohman scythes down Micah Hamano, and that will be a yellow card. Very little intention to play the ball, but a tactical foul there from Man City's new midfield general.
Yeah, first yellow card of the 25-26 season, and probably one of the most obvious yellow cards that we will see this season. Yeah. Hamano knocks it in front of her, and Lohman just swipes her out.
I love Hamano's response, though. She doesn't immediately turn to the ref, asking for the yellow card. She just gets up.
She wants the ball back.
Just gets up and gets on with it. Yeah. Wants to get into position.
But yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with calling for a card. That was a horrible tackle, but just love the mentality from Micah Hamano. Yeah. Question in chat, where's Kat Macaro? She is on the bench. Could feature as a substitute for Chelsea this evening, and a foul there from Sydney Lohman, who is just starting to make her name known to Emily Heaslip. And Jeglertz not best pleased about that.
I think that one's a bit unlucky, but I don't think City would have came away with it any cleanly anyway. I think Charles had recovered it, so it didn't really matter.
City have been much better pressing this second half. They've really made it difficult for Chelsea to play out. I think Jeglertz will be very pleased with the response from his side.
He knows they're in the game. You know, as a manager, as a top manager especially, he will recognise when your side are struggling, when your side are in a game. And Jeglertz knows right now that his side are very much in this football match.
Well, second half possession, 72% from City, 28% Chelsea. 5 shots to none, 1 on target to none, 0.48 XG to 0.00. Chelsea struggling really at the moment to get involved in the second half. City a stronger team. Hasagawa chips it forward, cut out well by Kira Walsh. Carpenter, the high press. Trying to force a mistake, ends up knocking it out of play though. And that will be a City throw.
So, City and Jeglertz have reacted well. It's now what can Bompastor and Chelsea do to react to the changes, react to the reaction.
Sure, exiting a great ball out to the right-hand side. Not known for her passing range, Khadija Shaw, but that one hell of a knock. Here is Rose, lifting it over the top, looking for Kasparai. Bright will get there, knocks it out of play. That's only a temporary reprieve, though, as City take the throw quickly. Now, do take their time. They're going to throw it on quickly.
Lovely lifted ball though from Rose, looking for Kasparai. Again, for a City side that have been, some new additions and under a new system, I think it's flowed quite nicely. Usually at this point in the season, you'd be seeing misplaced passes, players on different wavelengths, but everyone seems to be in tune with each other.
Chelsea coming forwards now then. Hamano knocks it out to Bjorn. Now it's with a great ball in behind from Captain. Not sure what she's looking for though. Wrong side really to pick out Beaver Jones. Pryor. Now to Greenwood. Captain puts her under pressure. Ball lumped forwards. Looking again to find Murphy down the line. And Bjorn just sees it out well. And that one a Chelsea throw. No one in a rush to take it.
Chelsea got to find something. Because we saw in the first half when it was Chelsea's turn to be on top, the more consistent you are, you keep that pressure going, eventually you will find the back of the net. City, though, doing very, very well in this game and have reacted brilliantly in this second half.
Indeed. Lohman switching the play, looking to find Kasparai. Now Rose.
Lohman's got in the game, is the other thing. In both a positive and a negative, yes, she's made a couple of fouls and stuff and got booked, but that shows that she's getting involved, getting stuck in.
Yeah. Coming forwards now, Murphy chopping and changing direction. One back in there by Carpenter. And now that ball played forwards into Beaver Jones. Good hold up. Needs some support though. Is brought down. Does really well there, Beaver Jones, because she had nowhere to go and she's won outside a free kick.
Exactly what Chelsea need. When you're under pressure, you need a striker who's going to hold the ball up and just allow you to have a bit of a rest and get up the pitch And to win a free kick is even better. Changes, by the way. I couldn't quite see what either side it was, but there's movement on that sideline. I think it's Man City.
Yeah. I think both sides will want changes soon. City will want to bring even more energy into this side, capsize when they're on top, and Chelsea will look to change something up and get a bit more control back. Hamano, lovely footwork, opening the pitch up. Pastures isn't quite on, doesn't want to take the risk at this stage in the game. Bjorn into Walsh, back to Hamano. Miedemar all over her back. Now Charles. Baltimore. Could look to play in behind. Got to go for it. Does go for it. Plays Beaver Jones in behind now. Running at Grace Pryor. Can she get a shot away at Beaver Jones? She does, but it's high and wide. And you feel she's got to do better with that chance.
Tell you what, she
just rushes it a little.
Yeah, she's done everything right here. It's a great ball from Baltimore. Beaver Jones gets there first. Sizes Pryor up. Goes the right way and then just gets under it. Skews it wide.
Just got to go low and hard there.
Yeah.
And that will be her last action of the game, I believe.
Yeah.
As it looks like she is making way. And for who? Well, we're going to see a replay of her goal. Comes to bursting down the right-hand side. Beaver Jones tucking it home tidily. Brilliant effort from the number 33. And she does depart, and it's Kat Macaro on to lead the line then for Chelsea. So a little bit more energy up front. Someone perhaps who can hold the ball up a little better. That's what Chelsea are looking for at this stage. Greenwood. Pass inside, cut out by Carpenter. Brilliant from Ellie Carpenter. She can look to go alone here.
Oh, what a tackle.
Brilliant drive forward. Greenwood's intervention, though, does turn out to be enough.
It's a slight touch, but it just forces that heavy, well, not a heavy touch from Carpenter, but Greenwood, it doesn't actually win the ball back. If anything, she just kicks it back into Carpenter.
Carpenter's got to look up.
Runs over.
Carpenter looks up there. She sees Hamano in an absolute acre of space. She squares it, and there's a very good chance it's 2-0 Chelsea. But she just gets the ball, and it's like a horse with blinkers on. She drives it forwards, but perhaps, just got to survey her options in that sort of area of the pitch. An area of the pitch where she's not too familiar driving inside with the ball. Very much a touchline player. But, chance for Chelsea goes begging, but they have got back into the game quite quickly. Out to the left-hand side now. Here's Baltimore. Pass inside, looking for the give and go. Cuthbert holds it a little bit longer. Now goes out wide for Sandy Baltimore. Can she pick someone out in the box? Ball into a good area. Yamashita plucks out there with two firm hands.
Kat Macario was lurking right behind her to head that one into an empty net. But very good goalkeeping from Yamashita once again to come out, be assertive and get two hands on the ball. But just warnings to Man City that while you are on top against Chelsea, if you don't take your chances, you can very quickly be punished up the other end.
Yeah. Greenwood sending it long. Doesn't quite come off. Here's Bjorn. Looking for a forward pass. Finds Ellie Carpenter. Now Macario. Lovely pass round the corner into Captain, who gets away from Greenwood. Looks to square it. Macario. It's a Hamano doesn't. And it's Chelsea 2, Manchester City 0. A brilliant move. Macario with the ball round the corner. Captain shrugs off Greenwood like it's nobody's business. Flashes one across the box. Macario couldn't meet it, but Hamano tucks it home. And that's Chelsea 2, Manchester City 0.
The warning came earlier for City that if you don't take your chances against Chelsea, you're going to get punished. And that's exactly what the champions have done. Again, they move it so quickly from back to front. Lovely football down the right-hand side. And this
Brilliant from Macario, the way she drops into that space, then plays it around the corner.
And superb. Vika Captain. This is all Vika Captain, this goal. It's a brilliant ball, but it's smart. She knows that she's might not outpace Greenwood, but use her body, gets across her, gets in front of her, gets the ball across, and Hamano has the easy job to just put it into the empty net. But brilliant football all round from Chelsea. And again, very similar to the first goal. It's back to front so quickly. It's 1-2 touch football. 5 passes from Bjorn at centre-half to Hamano up the other end, who's putting it in the back of the net. That's how quickly Chelsea can turn it on. And for Jeglertz and City, they will be frustrated because they were in this game. They were playing well. They were on top of the ball. They just couldn't put their chance in the back of the net. And now Chelsea have gone and hit them on the counter. And now 2 goals down with 25 minutes to play is a long way back against the reigning champions.
Yeah, indeed. An important goal in an important moment of the match. And Chelsea extending their advantage. After a period, as you say, City going into the game, Chelsea then sting them. There's a great, perfect sub. Perfect time for the substitution. She had a fantastic impact there, Kat Macario. Involved in various stages of the goal. It's lovely link up. And Chelsea warranting their 2-goal advantage. City, though, won't give up there. Greenwood flicking the ball forwards. Headed on well by Viviana Miedema. Hasegawa, tidy control. Finds a pass across to Lauren Hemp. Hemp, though, going to be forced backwards now. Here's Lohman. Out to Greenwood. Now Murphy pass inside to Hasegawa. Tidy footwork from Yui Hasegawa. Now Murphy again. Back to Hasegawa. Trying to carry it forwards. Goes back out to Murphy. Hemp. Greenwood. Into Murphy. Ball into a dangerous area. Don't mind her taking a shot like that in that sort of position. Can't quite find the target though.
Tell you what, from that angle, that is a very, very good hit. Does well to size up Carpenter. And comes inside, catches her out. And I tell you what, it looks to just bend it into the far corner. And the City winger was not far away from that at all. Hampton rooted to the spot. Nearly curled into that top corner. Not a bad effort from Murphy. City still showing signs of life in this game. And, you know, 1 goal and they're suddenly straight back into it.
Yeah, indeed. Here's Bjorn. Now Carpenter sends it forwards, looking for Macario. Good hold up from the American forward. Lohman sees her off well. But that's exactly what Macario's going to give you that Beaver Jones wasn't.
Yeah.
Someone that's going to be physical, going to be imposing, going to hold that ball up. She's acting as a false nine, which is what she does up front.
Yeah.
Drops in a little deeper to receive the ball. Rather than Beaver Jones, who's often looking to play on the shoulder, often looking to make those runs in behind. Macario can do that as well, but much more of a false nine type player. Loves those combinations, loves that link-up play. And now City looking to break away. Hemp down the right-hand side, plays it across Khadija Shaw. The hold-up, Miedema takes aim. Shaw again, great intervention from Millie Bright. And a clearance takes a deflection of a City player and it's out for a Chelsea throw.
City were frustrated. They couldn't find the target, but no one's more frustrated than Yui Hasegawa, who's screaming for it on the penalty spot. And maybe Welsh would have cut it out if Shaw had left it. And of course, Khadija Shaw being one of the best number 9s in the world isn't going to leave that ball. But Hasegawa was open on the penalty spot and would have had a clean shot at goal. Got to be screaming for that. I think she was screaming for that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, Khadija Shaw is obviously going to take that on. But just couldn't get a shot away without it being blocked.
Dragged down a little there by Sandy Baltimore, and that will be a City free kick. A little bit of afters between the two players. City now, can they make something happen from this set piece?
Need a goal soon, really, to get themselves back in the game. But they've already, you know, seen Greenwood hit the crossbar from a shooting opportunity. This is more of a crossing opportunity, whether it be Greenwood or Hasegawa. But plenty of height piling in towards the back post for Manchester City. Got to take advantage of it. Shaw, Rose, Lohman, Miedema, all lining up in that penalty area. This has got to land on a light blue shirt for Man City.
Indeed. And it's the familiar faces of Hasegawa and Greenwood over this. And the referee, Heaslip, wants to have a chat with Niamh Charles and Khadija Shaw, and we'll pause proceedings for a moment.
Yeah. This makes more sense in a non-VAR world, when pushing and shoving is less obvious.
To police a little better, there's change here there, marking Natalie Bjorn will now deal with Khadija Shaw. Charles handling the threat of Miedema. Ball in from Alex Greenwood into the right area, headed in by Niamh Charles. And that is a big mistake from the Chelsea defender. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. Niamh Charles, the player, turning it into her own net. And City right back into the game. Greenwood put the ball in the right area. And Niamh Charles just, I think, caught in two minds as to what to do with the ball, ends up heading it past her own goalkeeper.
Yeah, just scuffs the header. But I tell you what, City will not care. And it's a way back into this game, but it's exactly what Shaw was trying to do. We saw the referee pause the game and bring Shaw and Charles in for a chat. That's exactly what the whole point is. There's meant to be a bit of a melee in there. It takes a nick off Pryor onto Charles's shoulder almost. And the pace on the ball is enough to it's almost just deflected and goes past Hampton. But 20 minutes to go now. That's a foul throw from Ellie Carp. That is really poor. And luckily policed. Can't be doing that at the top level. It's just thrown it directly into the floor. But that has got City right back in this game. And now, only one goal behind. Still in the game as well. To be honest, I still think they've been the better side second half. And now only a goal away from restoring us back to a level score.
Here's Khadija Shaw. And City coming forwards now. Murphy, the runner beyond, has to tries to find him cut out well by Niamh Charles. Chelsea should just settle into this game because City will suddenly feel up for it. You can see the urgency. You can see the belief behind the press. Bjorn there playing a risky game. Walsh into Macaro. Round the corner into Captain. Positive touch. Cut out by Greenwood. Drops for Hermano. Needs to wait for that run of Carpenter. Now still could have executed it. Goes to Cuff, but instead, now it finds its way to Carpenter. The pass behind her. She can't get it under her control.
And here we go. It's little things, but in a matter of moments, there's been more misplaced passes, an own goal, and a foul throw, and that's how the game can shift so quickly. Chelsea just need to calm down. That's all it is. They need to calm down. The foul throws come because Carpenter's rushed to take it and just released it too late and just thrown it directly into the floor in front of her. Chelsea just need to relax in this game because if it becomes hectic, because City are the ones on the ball, it would go towards them. But now it's just set up a very, very exciting last 18 minutes.
Here's Greenwood.
Doesn't want to take too long, time wasting. Still not throwing the football. There we go.
Now Hermano looking to play it forwards. Macario, Cuthbert. Chelsea just looking to recycle possession. Bjorn, now Bright. Charles into Walsh. Walsh back to Charles. Lovely give and go. And she can just drive this ball forwards for Chelsea here. No, she's got players who will cover the position. Just didn't look comfortable doing that though. She kept looking around as though she shouldn't be there. Carpenter. Brought down there by Murphy, and it's a Chelsea free kick on the edge of the box. Much to her frustration there. It looks a little soft.
Yeah, Carpenter's holding her foot, so if she was clipped here, then it is a free kick. If it's just the touch on the back, then that's very unlucky.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's just that little nudge, isn't it? Carpenter does really well to make the most of it.
Yeah.
One of those young player makes a naive decision, puts her hand on Carpenter, and as soon as she does that, Ellie Carpenter used her experience there to buy a free kick, really.
Yeah. I can understand Murphy's frustrations there. Good position this as well. As we've seen, sometimes you just got to put the ball in the right area and it will find its way into the net.
Baltimore. Ball into the right area. Bounces around. Can someone turn it home? Macaro, it's blocked. Walsh flicks up in the air. Headed on by Shaw, the wrong direction. Asagara under pressure from Hermano. And it's back in the possession of Chelsea. Baltimore has Millie Bright up in support. This will get clipped in towards the back post. Not the most beautiful cross you've ever seen, but it's functional. Now Bjorn under pressure. Drops for Carpenter, who smartly just launched it the other direction. Macaro flicks it on. Now she'll put Casper under pressure. Ball up the line. Finds Hemp. Good hold up from the wide player. Lovely give and go between herself and Lohman. That somehow stays in touch, and she can use this now. Lauren Hemp. Here come Manchester City. Needs some support. Drives inside. Looking now for a passing option. Finds Khadija Shaw, who'll turn and shoot, but that's straight down the throat of Hannah Hampton.
Trying to catch Hannah Hampton out there with Khadija Shaw, really. Not a bad effort though. Keeps it down, keeps it on target. But another save for Hampton's repertoire this evening. Yeah, that was more. That was more about just trying to catch Hampton off guard rather than trying to beat her from there.
Carpenter, ball up the line, one back by Vika, captain. Really smart play from the Dutch midfielder. Now into Macario, who'll square up the competition. Carpenter on the overlap, uses the Aussie well. Pass inside, that's blocked and out now for a throw-in.
This game has really opened up. 15 minutes to play. Man City know they need to go for a goal. Chelsea trying to kill it off. And they're going to back that up with a couple of changes. Carnereed and Jean-Francois going to be entering the fray for Chelsea. And then Cuthbert has hit the deck. So that will probably be, with an already heavily strapped knee, looks to be the end of Erin Cuthbert's evening. And not in a positive way, really. But yeah, this game is a bit of a pause now, so everyone's going to take a moment. But it has just sparked into life. City realising that, yes, it's all good, they've had all the ball, but a bit of urgency needed now because they need to go and get an equaliser, and Chelsea are reacting to that, realising that City are overcommitting and try and take advantage at the other end.
So Sunday Baltimore, by the way, the other player to depart. So is that potentially a system change for Chelsea, or what's happening here?
That's a great question.
Because Carnereed presumably isn't going to play left wing back.
No.
Potentially could play right wing back.
You're not going to shift Carpenter to left wing back, are you?
Well, could do.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, unless it is a shape change, that is a strange one. Unless you're reshifting everybody and putting Charles to left wing back, Carpenter as one of the centre halves, and then putting Carnereed right wing back.
Would worry me. It'd be easier just to put Carpenter left wing back than put a centre back.
Fair enough.
We'll see what they're going to do. Change as well for Manchester City. It's Sydney Lohman off. Sydney Lohman off for Laura Blinkilder-Brown.
New role for Blinkilder-Brown's an interesting one. Playing,
deeper in midfield. Potentially moving to more of a midfield 3 then with a single pivot.
Carpenter is still over there here. So maybe Carnereed has just gone to left wing back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Another dubious one from Carpenter. Got to be careful with these throws.
Now for a Manchester City goal kick. And this will give us an indication of how Chelsea are going to set up. It's very much looking like Carnereed will be at left wing back then.
An interesting one. City, though, need to realise, only 12 minutes to go. This game's got another goal in it. I just don't know which direction. It could be a Chelsea third. It could be a City equaliser.
Pryor launching it up in the air. It's going to drop in there for Carnereed, who will win the initial header. Then for Blinkilder-Brown, and now City come away with possession. Hemp drives inside, now out wide to Khadija Shaw, takes it in a strong and it's not a bad effort, just grazing the crossbar.
Ridiculous. She is just ridiculous. That is incredibly well hit. First time, hits it with venom, and I tell you what, if that was on target, Hampton would have done very, very well to keep that out. Oh, yeah, skims the top of the bar on the way through. Shaw has looked so lively.
Yeah.
Just hasn't managed to find the back of the net. Couple shots going, just over the bar a bit wide, all being denied by Hannah Hampton. But that was really well struck.
And Hampton will send this one forwards. Looking for Macaro. It's going to drop to Rose, though. Now they'll play out from the back. Pryor. Carrying the ball forwards now to Greenwood. And Captain will put her under pressure, and Greenwood runs it off. And that's out now for a throw, which Carpenter's keen to take quickly, but the ball's still on pitch. Means that they can't.
Carpenter's throw-ins are very aggressive. And I think that she has just got to be a little... we've already seen one foul throw given. But they're all very much into the ground and bounced up. Charles. Bright. Back to Charles.
Playing it forwards. Here's Macario. Nice hold up. Can she take on Pryor? She's going to try to. And she does want to flick it around the corner into Carnreid, who used her fresh legs. And apparently that's gone off the pitch.
Bit
Bit of a dubious one.
I'm saying that's been a close one. And again, that's very difficult to find an angle that shows that.
But the liner's given that from a mile away.
Tell you what, to be fair,
I don't know. It still looks on the line for me.
I don't think you're right. I don't. Yeah, but
It's a tough one to call. Don't get me wrong, but
ridiculously close. If that is on by like you know the tiny millimeters. Big 10 minutes, massive 10 minutes for both these sides now.
And City looking to play out now. Blinker to Brown. Casper launching it forwards, looking for Khadija Shaw. Bright does well. Pass forward, no intended target seemingly. Blinker to Brown. And now City can play. Greenwood. Goes to Hemp, who will drive inside of the ball. Now Blinker to Brown. Jean-Francois on her back. She's forced to Rose. Blinker to Brown.
Nice.
Now Greenwood.
Chelsea have dropped about 10 yards since Cuthbert and Baltimore went off. Very much sitting in. Very happy with the position they're in.
Captain here looking to see Blinker to Brown back. Now it's with Lauren Hemp who drive inside. Ball across the box. Head away by Bright. Going to drop in there for Hasegawa. Now Kasparai. Here's Murphy. And that is a Chelsea throw in. It comes off Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy and Hemp are swapped. Very interestingly.
Get him back on a favourite side for the last 15.
And I tell you what, Blinker to Brown looks lively. Looks really dangerous when he's on the ball. And it's just really sharp, very good in those tight areas.
And City Reading a change. It's Iman Benes. You'd assume that'd be for Lily Murphy, fairly like for like.
Yeah. City just not taking their chances tonight.
I think it's a case of not creating high quality chances.
Yeah.
They've had lots of shots. Ball into the box. Flicked on. It's falling to Murphy. But I mean, even the goal, they just put the ball in a good area. Yeah. And it was headed in by Chelsea. They haven't really created great chances for themselves. Murphy takes aim from range. Good effort. Blocked by Hampton. Greenwood can't make the most of it. Carpenter clears it comfortably.
Another good start from Hampton. Probably gets a little bit fortunate because this is parried straight into the danger zone. Needed to get more on that.
Got to react.
Yeah. Because if she volleys that first time, Hampton's in trouble.
Greenwood. Miedemar back to Greenwood. He'll play it forwards, looking for Khadija Shaw.
Oh,
Bright's completely missed her. Shaw into the box. Murphy tries to head it on. Hasn't quite worked out. Here's Kasparai. Charles competing with her. Kasparai. Back to Hasegawa. Now Kasparai again. Hasegawa. Rose. Now Pryor. Back to Rose. Hasegawa. Lifting that ball in behind. Charles will try and see it out here. Does really well to hold it in. Under pressure from Murphy. Trying to play around the corner too cutely there. Vika Captain. Nowhere to go though for Hasegawa. And it's cleared away by Walsh, but not too far. We'll drop in there for Charles, who will try and see this out under pressure from Murphy. That'll be difficult, but she does well. 5 minutes to play.
Really good game management from Chelsea. And how many times did we see them do this last season? In the lead in a game and just seeing the job through. Yeah, change a piece then for each side.
It's one of those where their dominance in the first half warrants the victory, but the second half, City have definitely made them think about things.
Yeah.
Definitely made their life a lot more difficult.
So Bene on for Miedemar.
So Bene to right wing, Murphy central, Bene in
Two
the
up.
10. I don't know. Bigger captain making way now for Chelsea. On in her place, Sioka Nusken.
That one makes more sense. That is pretty much that's like for like. Unless they're going two up front, putting Murphy into the front line with Shaw, then you wouldn't bring Miedemar off if you go do that.
No.
Yeah. Chelsea just looking to see this result through. Still no Sam Kerr. Disappointing.
I don't think we'll see Sam Kerr now.
And if we do, it'll be a minute.
If it was 2-0, Chelsea with 5 to play, I think we'd see Sam Kerr coming on, but I don't think we're going to see it this evening with the game hanging in the balance. Macario
Brilliant
held
again.
it up well. Now Jean-Francois will play it up the line. That's going to kill some time as Nusken charges it down. Greenwood goes back to a goalkeeper. Yamashita forced back to Greenwood. Pass into the danger area, picked off by Jean-Francois. Needs Connery to be higher there sooner. Really for support. Walsh, pass inside to Nusken. Has to look for Carpenter. Walsh, now Carpenter. Options in the box. Can she pick someone out?
Ooh.
Massively overhit that one.
Yeah.
Poor ball. Got to be a better ball. They've got to try and kill the game.
100%. Chelsea players were like, you had a back post runner, a front post runner, and someone on the edge of the area, and that has gone a few rows deep into the Harding. Not the right ball.
You also want to just drill it across goal, and it either goes in, it's a parry shot save, or someone just like gets a flick on or something. Yeah. But just that just floating across considerably high and wide, not really the best in that situation. Charles will see this long ball out for Manchester City, and she's just felt her ankle go there, and that's concerning. Neve Charles writhing in pain, and you can see just holding that ankle. As soon as she jumped, you could see she wasn't comfortable. She has done something. That looks in pain. She's going to try and play on, I think. Millie Bright tells her she's tough as nails, and she plays on.
Laughs at her. I mean, fair enough. I mean, she really does not look comfortable. I mean, now, it looks like she's just going to get through the next few minutes.
You'd have to assume Chelsea would turn to Viola Berman. Chris asks, why is Germa not playing? Well, Germa, we're not sure. Not in the matchday squad at all, though.
The Chelsea have used all their stoppages.
Have they?
I think. Yeah, because... Maybe not.
Yeah, 3 stoppages.
Yeah. Charles has to carry on.
I think it was an injury, though, that the game stopped anyway. You're allowed to make a change then?
No. Because you're still the reason the game's stopping. Chelsea have done well, though.
Down concussion there.
Because that nervy final 10 minutes has now dissipated and suddenly there's 2 remaining.
Yeah.
And this game has kind of just petered out a little bit, which is exactly what Chelsea wanted.
Rose. Back to Pryor. Now Greenwood.
It's going to happen now. It's going to happen very, very late for City.
Bjorn puts it forwards, flicked on by Nuskum. Now back to Yamashita. Rose. City looking to spoil Chelsea's party in the dying embers of this game. Blinkiota Brown. Now Hemp wants to run there. Now Ellie Carpenter goes outside, looking inside. Will go outside again. Carpenter stands her up really well. And they're supported by Sioka Nusken out though for a corner.
Brilliant defending from Carpenter to force Hemp backwards. And another corner. And for City, probably one of their final chances to level this game up. I'm only expecting a couple additional minutes. Again, spoke
Yeah,
about
not
that.
too many stoppages in this second half.
No. Got to be on the money from Hasegawa.
Ball into a good area, headed away. This time the right way by the Chelsea defence. Ball into box 5 additional minutes. Hemp flicks it back in the box. Shaw trying to meet it. Charles gets it out. Now Murphy. Macario does well to win the ball back, and she can drive it forwards now for Chelsea. Pass inside to Hermano, picked off by Iman Bene. And now City back in possession. Rose. Blinkilda Brown. Space to carry this ball into. Now a pass out wide. Hasegawa. Shaw touched it down well, and offside call in there on Khadija Shaw.
Sloppy that from Shaw. Really sloppy. Got to be sharper than that. At this point in the match. Great vision from Hasegawa to switch the play and try and pick out someone on the right hand side. Shaw though has got to be watching the line there.
And Oahabi, the change being ready by Manchester City if they do indeed get a chance to make it.
Yeah, a lot of discussion on that City bench all game. Very interesting.
Well, there's a lot to figure out. It's a new team working together for the first time. They'll be learning a lot about their setup. They've also been chasing the game.
But I find it interesting you said Jeglertz never returns to his bench. Basically, 3 different blokes just keep running up to him with notepads and explaining their ideas. By the sound of it.
by Macario, Greenwood heads it home. Now they're going to make it happen quickly, though. Yamashita encouraging people forward. She wants to kick it along. It hasn't gone that far. And a bit of a clash there between Bene and Greenwood. And now Jean-Francois can carry the ball forwards. Waits now for some support. Pass inside to Nusken. Now across to Walsh. Don't know why she's rushed that pass. And now City are back in possession. She's got to be sensible there.
Yeah.
Zipping a ball forwards in the 92nd minute. And Greenwood's knocked out of play and she's done. Doesn't look like anything too bad.
No.
I think she's just knackered and wants to a Harvey on. Understandable given how long her summer was.
I think initially it looked like she pulled up and that's why the ball went astray, but I think she just kicked it out and wanted to go off. That is something to monitor. A lot of players been in the wars today.
Consequence, really, of a long season going into an international tournament and then coming straight into a new season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started this season earlier than we started last season. I know, obviously we had the Olympics, which is the reason for last season starting so late. But, yeah, interesting regardless.
And you know, man, at least she had front of the world sevens.
Aye, that is true as well.
Yeah, so that is Greenwood's race run. Harvey will come on, and City will need something in the last couple of minutes. But City have got to hope that Greenwood's fit, because when she hasn't played and when she didn't play last season, they did look a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Equally, that did coincide with also losing loads of other players. So as much as they did struggle without Greenwood, they also struggled without like 7 first-teamers.
Yeah.
So if Greenwood's your only loss, and I think they can definitely be okay with that.
They've actually got centre-backs now.
Yes.
Harvey sends it forward. Cut out by Bright. It's going to drop in there now for Iman Bene. Here's Murphy. Good hold up from Carnery. Gets in between her and the ball. And wins it back. Rose drops in there for Hermano. They can break away. Chelsea here with a moment left. Macario. Options left and right. Gets it stuck in her feet a little. Knocks out to the left-hand side. Hermano. Ball floats into the box. Harvey heads it clear. Jean-Francois will try and keep this alive. Walsh. Out now to the left-hand side. Here's Carnery. Got to hit corners at this point in the game. Macario runs it wide. She'll hold that ball up now in this corner. And that looks to have come off Kamagara, and that will be a goal kick, despite her adamant protests.
Got to get back in shape though, Chelsea. City will want to go quickly. Although we are going to stop because I think someone's making a change. Oh no, Murphy's down as well.
She looks to be in a lot of discomfort. Just hit the ground. Wonder if that's just a dislocation potentially. Just clutching that arm there. Shadow Football saying Wright Carnery doing well at left wing back wasn't on my bingo card for this game. No, didn't expect to see her play that position even when she came on to play it.
And I think City have still got a stoppage left in.
City have used 3 stoppages. So.
Well, it depends because there was one sub that was made together.
Well, Lord Blinkfield was 77th minute. Iman Belling was 85th minute. Harvey 94th minute.
Yeah, but who did Blinkfield came on with Chelsea players, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
So that would
that would still count as their stoppage.
Well, no, Chelsea. I think it's weird. Those ones are weird because I think it depends because if Chelsea's subs came on first, I think it would go down as Chelsea's stoppage.
Right.
So City have hopefully I've got 2 because I don't think Murphy's be able to continue here. It's a massive shame. Calm to play the match. You agree with that? Might as well do it while we've got a stoppage.
Sure. Yeah, she's been brilliant.
Who's your man of the match then?
I would say. I mean, Carpenter's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Vika Katsu, thought she was excellent today.
Was very good.
Especially for the goal.
Yeah.
Hamano, brilliant. Got the goal as well that she deserved. Worked hard on and off the ball.
Hamano's been excellent.
There's no players you can give it to. I understand why Carpenter's been given it. It was a great drive down the right-hand side and she's looked brilliant today, but I just think she's had a lot of crosses that have been very wayward. And actually, this could have been a lot more of a comfortable game if she was strong on those deliveries. So, yeah, I'd be more inclined to give it to Aggie Beaver-Jones or Hamano or Katsu.
Yeah, I'd say Hamano. I thought she was brilliant. She was brilliant in this game last year in doing a very different job, but still brilliant. And that is what I love about Mike Hamano. If she can, you give her an instruction as a coach, you give her a job
Swiss
to
Army
do.
knife.
Yeah,
really.
You give her a job to do, and she will do it to the best of her abilities.
We're in the 97th minute now with this stoppage.
Looks like we're going to get going again then. Still, I think, yeah, we ticked over 95, but we've had Greenwood down, and now we've had Murphy down.
I think now he still just explained to Bright how long is left potentially.
Yes.
Because Murphy's been down all of the time that Murphy's been down has been after the 95th.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was that Greenwood stoppage in there as well.
Yeah, Murphy's still down. A lot to work out for Jeglertz and City. I don't think it's not all been bad at all today. Certainly some positives. They've turned up to Stamford Bridge, and especially in the second half, have given Chelsea a very, very good game. I think there plenty of positives to take, but also quite a bit of work to do.
Looks like a break, by the way, for Lily Murphy. Catherine Back reporting that Hampton's gone over to Bompastor and told her what's happening, saying she heard the break, and apparently she mouthed it to the physio as well. So horrible news for Murphy.
And City again
looked really sharp.
Fowler already out. Fagino still coming back to fitness. Just keep losing players.
Asaf says much love from the Kenya bros. Thank you to everyone from Kenya that's watching the stream. Appreciate the support. And while we have got this stoppage, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've been growing incredibly quickly the last few days. Got the ambitious goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers before the end of this WSL first game week. So if you haven't yet hit subscribe, make sure to do so. We're very quickly approaching 5k. And make sure to join us tomorrow as the WSL action continues. Arsenal versus London City Lionesses, a 1:30 kickoff. Join me here from 1:15. Should be good. And then on Sunday, we've got a quadruple fixture pile-up.
Yeah.
We'll be covering the Merseyside derby. But yeah, stretcher onto the field. I'm not sure of the necessity of that if it's a broken arm.
I think it's just more how many people it takes. But yeah, Chelsea looking will probably now set the bar for Arsenal, Man United to go and deliver against tomorrow and Sunday.
It's a huge 3 points against the side you'd expect to be in the title race in Manchester City, a side you think even if they aren't going to be title contenders will be a very strong team this season. And I mean, this situation's all getting a little bit long now. We're into the 5th minute extra of additional time.
Yeah, because this is going to be a lot. This is going to keep going on. This isn't going to be... You'd think that both teams be smart about it and just call it there.
Both sides have got the ball. Well, City will say they've still got 2 minutes to play and they could score on it, but this could just end up being a completely different match to what we've seen, because both sides have had 5 minutes now without playing.
And yeah, they'll still be another 5. You know, it's going to be a very lengthy stoppage. And the clock is just going to continue to tick over.
Yeah.
I think City have still got time. Because of Greenwood going down, and now this is obviously just going to continue on.
So she's stretched it off. Lily Murphy clearly in a lot of discomfort. Looks like a broken arm. She goes off to applause, which is nice to see from the fans.
It's a big loss for City. We spoke about earlier how Jeglertz is very, very good bringing through young players and giving an opportunity to shine, but that looks to be a very difficult one.
Goal kick from Yamashita. Both players have now got to readjust back into this game. Jean-Francois comes away with possession. City obviously down a player as well. Complicates matters further, but they'll come forwards now. Blinkilda Brown will be forced backwards. Great pressure from Hermano, who'll go after it again. Uahabi trying to keep it in touch. Has a throw in now, though. Under pressure, flicks it round the corner of their Hemp, trying to find Shaw. One back by Carpenter, who will play it safe, going back to Hannah Hampton. Now back to Carpenter. And we have had another 2 minutes since we've restarted, so there can't be long left in this one. We can't be sure exactly how long. I'm sure Heaslip has it down to the millisecond. Jean-Francois. The problem is they could easily add 5 minutes because that's how long Murphy was down for.
Yeah.
But we would never have had those 5 minutes. And that's the difficulty now with where this game is called at. Because we're now 7 minutes over the allotted.
There are 3 people on the whole pitch that know how long this game is going to go on for now. 4 people actually.
Here's Kasparai.
And that is it.
And that's full time here at Stamford Bridge. The reigning WSL champions kick off their campaign with a victory. It's Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. Goals coming from Aggie Beaver-Jones and Micah Hermano. A great start to the campaign for the Blues. A handy 3 points against a very tough opposition in Manchester City, who ran them close right to the end there. But ultimately, the game settled and City unable to score a goal for themselves, of course, getting a bit of luck, a bit of fortune with the own goal from Niamh Charles. But overall, a big win for Chelsea, and it puts them top of the table on the opening night.
Chelsea land the first blow, but plenty of fights and battles still to go this season. But a very, very good start for the reigning champions. Still unbeaten in the WSL under Bompastor. City gave it a good go. Plenty of positives for Jeglertz, but also plenty of work to do. And I'm sure that
lots to reflect on.
Yes, they will only get better and better though. And the fact that they gave Chelsea a game tonight in his first match in charge of City is a promising sign. And there is definitely a lot of belief there for Jeglertz and his side. But overall, a brilliant football match between the two, between two of the title challengers. But Chelsea again finding a way and setting the mark now, setting the standard for everyone else to follow. But they will end match week 1 joint top of the league at the very least.
Yeah, exactly that. A very good start to the game week. I think that they'll be pleased with how they've started the season. I think that game was pretty much what we expected, a very complex tactical battle. Two sides who very much managed the risk well. I think Chelsea could have been more comfortable there if it wasn't for the mistake from Niamh Charles, but overall still a really solid performance and a great start to 25-26. As for City, well, a lot to learn from. It gets easier from here, though. They've got a nice run of fixtures after this game, so it'll be something for Jeglertz and his side to get into. They won't be happy to have got through the opening game of the season with 2 players coming off injured, but it could have always been worse. As for Chelsea, the only problems would be, the only injury concern would be Aaron Cuthbert, who came off with an injury. But
everything there was in match week 1. But that's what you get, when it is. That is the thing, when you get a very heavy, intense, physical, tactical battle on match week 1, you're throwing your players right into the deep end, and hopefully, we don't. It's not any issues for Greenwood and Cuthbert, and for Lily Murphy, we can only hope that it is, the speediest recovery as possible, because I thought that although it wasn't her best game, it certainly could be a very, very good season for her. But it's a shame that she now looks like she's going to be out for quite a long time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's one of those games, wasn't it, where the first half Chelsea did enough to put themselves in a comfortable position. They scored against them on a play in the second half as well. City did have really good patches in this game, especially the second 45. I think it's after the break they came out with a bit of real rejuvenation and energy. They conceded, and that knocked them back again. Neve Charles' own goal gave them that belief, but ultimately it didn't really come. And I think there will be some concerns over their inability to create good quality chances in this game and really break Chelsea down. But overall, I think a lot of positives to take from that performance. I think when they're looking forward to their schedule over the next few weeks, they'll be pleased with that performance. And they can really build on that. So, will be very interesting. But that is everything from us today. Don't want to run out of too much to talk about on the weekend roundup coming on Tuesday. So look out for that. But we've still got a lot of live WSL action before then. Join us tomorrow for Arsenal versus London City Lionesses as the reigning European champions kick off their campaign against the newly promoted outfit. Should be really interesting. The side that spent £3 million in the transfer market in London City Lionesses. So it's sure to be a good game. Join me for that at 1:15 tomorrow with a 1:30 kickoff UK time. Then on Sunday, we're going to be back for Liverpool versus Everton, 12 o'clock kickoff. It coincides with the 3 other 12 o'clock kickoffs, so we'll be keeping tabs across all of those games, but focusing on the Merseyside derby. Now, that was everything from us today. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you can join us for more streams throughout this season. We're covering WSL every weekend throughout this campaign, so look out for that. That is everything, though. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.